What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Terror Table.
This is a great crack.
This is the second episode of the year of the Terror Table, a horror podcast hosted out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, hosted by the voice you're hearing right now, Mitch Oliver, and right next to me, as always, I have...
Kyle Zervinsky, right here.
As always.
As always.
And next to him, we have...
Boozy. No, Kyle's, as always, he's been doing really good.
It's been a couple times.
I think we still haven't made like an official announcement that Kyle has joined, but it's because I think we want to treat it with some, I don't know.
This is, it's just a couple
so
pilots.
By the time we announce it, it'll be like, he's been here for like a long time.
He'll already be on his way out. But we are a horror podcast out of Saskatoon. We are presented by the Saskatchewan Podcast Network, who is currently sponsored by Connexus Credit Union. There you go.
You got the is.
We are, every single week, we talk about all the things that we've seen and all the things that we've done, whether it be books, comics, video games, horror movies, everything in the horror genre. Sometimes we'll like lightly dip our toes in something that's not genre, but we'll make sure we have a good reason as to why, because we know that you all come here to listen to us talk about horror movies. Another thing that I want to mention that we're doing new this year is in the show notes, we are going to be giving you guys a timestamp, an idea of when the main feature conversation starts. So if for some reason you're not interested in the meat and potatoes of our episodes, which is like us talking about what we've been seeing and everything, I know that's my favorite part about the show. And I think that's actually a lot of people's, but we just talk about all the things.
I'm just happy they like something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if for some reason you want to come and listen to us talk about House of Wax from 1953 and House of Wax from 2005, you don't, and say they don't want 2 hours of us talking bullshit for a little while, they can skip right to it if you're interested. Yeah. So check that out in the show notes. We'll also note all of the titles that we discussed. So if we talk about something that sounds like something you want to check out, you can look at our show notes, and I'm sure it'll ring a bell when you read it or hear it.
The customer is always right.
Precisely.
Perhaps we could call it inclusive programming.
That's exactly it.
Programming.
The other thing that we've been doing kind of new the past 5 months, maybe 4 months, is Boozy's been ending every single episode with, after the credits, he asks a question of the week, and it gives our listeners, you guys, a chance to tune in and share.
Have your voice heard.
Yeah, have your voice heard. Join the conversation. And once in a while, we'll post about it on our social medias, which you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But yeah, you can comment there, or you can send it directly to theterrortable@gmail.com. And we're going to kick off every single week with the question of the week. And I think we're going to introduce a new segment that Kyle's been itching to get involved with here. But I just want to reiterate that, yes, today we will be doing House of Wax from 1953 and House of Wax from 2005. Originally, we had planned on doing a series where we will each choose an original and a remake to cover on the show, do a double feature, and we were actually notified this week by Tyler Baptist, or it was when we announced it, that House of Wax from 1953 actually isn't even the original movie.
Did any of us know that? Because I didn't. I did not know that.
I didn't, but I did watch Mystery of the Wax Museum as well. Really? So I watched 3 House of Wax movies this week.
Holy shit.
But yeah, so thank you, Tyler, for notifying us of that. Like, we definitely never claim to be knowledgeable about absolutely everything, but we are passionate nonetheless.
It's appreciated.
Yes, it is. But
call us out on our shit.
Yeah, and I know there's people like Bryson out there, Lana. I actually don't know if Lana really cares. I think she just likes listening to us, which is very sweet. But some people like to watch along with the movies that we're doing, and they like to know what's up next, so they can watch it themselves and send in their thoughts, or just share, listen to the episodes with the films fresh in their mind. So I want to give everyone a heads up on what our next couple episodes are going to look like. So next week we're going to be doing sort of Kyle's pick. I sort of picked it for you, but I assumed that that's what you'd go with anyways. You can change it if you want.
It's honestly inclusive programming, so let's just go for it.
It has like this. It's something that
for the record, I want to cover.
Yes, we're 145 episodes in, and we have never done an episode on The Fly. So we will be doing next week. We'll be doing the original version of The Fly from the 50s, and then we'll also be doing the 80s Goldblum Cronenberg remake from 1986. Following that week, we're going to be, and this falls in line with us kind of switching up the whole, we're pretending like we meant to do this with the House of Wax thing, where you don't need to choose you can choose the original or a older version and then a newer version. Boozy has chosen Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1956, I believe.
56 or 54
Yeah,
or something. Yeah.
something like that. And
Same
but
shit.
instead of the 78 version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers that everyone knows and loves so well, we're going to be talking about Body Snatchers from 1993, a movie that I have owned for a long time and I've never seen it.
I
know
always remember seeing the cover.
The cover's
I've never
sick.
seen it. The cover is super sick.
The cover's
I'm
sick.
excited to watch it.
I know nothing about this one, so
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I'm looking forward to
They're
it.
all like I went and looked. There's like 5 movies, all loosely based off of the same book.
Right.
But they're like, I don't know. They're technically considered remakes of each other. I don't know. There's like the semantics of it. I
Like
don't know.
Under the Skin.
Sure.
Yeah. Either way, I'm looking forward to
You mean Us?
I'm looking forward to discussing all of
Freaky
these
Friday?
movies and continuing on with the show. I want to apologize for actually no, not really apologize, but we've only this is our second episode and it's January 27th, and that is
it
because
really?
Boozy almost died.
It's true.
Boozy,
I was the closest, unless Kyle hits like something really big. I'm the closest to being in the 27 club.
Uh-oh.
yeah, it's true. That was one of the things that he sent to me. He's like, I almost had you beat because I was really hoping to go. I beat the 27 club.
That's a lot of pressure now.
But my
You got
favorite.
time to think about it.
Okay, so bottom line is everyone is extremely happy that Boozy is safe and okay and on your way to being healthy again and everything.
I don't
like
know
that.
why I did this move. It looks like I'm just like jerking off two
Yeah, it
invisible
does.
people.
Well,
Yay!
I imagine there's streamers in your hands or something.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
okay.
thanks.
But it is pretty funny how it happened.
True.
And I also just want to point out that like I got like seriously, man, I got like 10 messages from people who they just messaged me like, so was it steroids? I'm like,
What?
fuck no. I'm like, Boozy doesn't do steroids, and like
That we know of.
That's
no,
really a weird thing to.
well, it's because
I
everyone
went to the hospital for steroids.
no, but it's because everyone thinks that if you're because you're very active in deadlifting and at the gym and everything like that,
Yeah.
and you're a big dude now, like you've put on,
I don't,
weight.
That's like something that's been pointed. I don't want to make this a big thing, but like I don't feel any different. So
No.
it's weird when people are like, "You're a big guy." I'm like, "I'm 5'9", maybe."
You got big muscles,
Thank you.
big muscles, big guy. But yeah, I don't know.
Died from steroid.
Yeah, but that was like no.
As soon
but
as you take the steroids, they take you right to the hospital.
I thought it was
It's part of the package.
But Boozy, do you want to share what happened quickly?
Sure. It was Friday night. I don't know the date. I forget. But I was already sick, so I'd called in sick to work that day, and I was already sick. And my cats decided that they were gonna beat the fuck out of each other. So I went in there and I was like, "Hey, let's cut this shit out." But I didn't because I was fucking screaming at them. So I grabbed them and pulled them apart, and my one cat decided to just like destroy my hand, like just attacked me. And like this is like the weirdest thing is like somehow she got really lucky somehow and bit me so hard that the bacteria that was on her teeth hit my bloodstream.
Oh my god.
And within 24 hours, I was in emergency with sepsis.
I'm sorry for laughing.
Oh, no, I think it's fucking fun. It's like the most me thing to happen.
It is such a Boozy thing to happen, and that's why I also love because people are like, was it steroids? It's like no, actually, his kitten bit him. Not Dr. Loomis, but the other one.
Ellie bit
Wow.
me. Yeah. And like, I actually wasn't planning on going to the doctor or hospital. I just thought I had the flu. So I was like, I'm just going to lay in bed. And my girlfriend ended up being like, you need to go to emergency. So yeah, we ended up going there. And luckily I did go because they said if it was like 2 or 3 more hours longer, my kidneys would have started like failing. So yeah.
Oh my god.
So I spent like a solid amount of time in the hospital. It was fun.
That's insane.
Oof.
Well, we're happy to have you here and healthy and back on track.
Let's just clear up this whole steroid business.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I wanted to address it. Because
Maybe
I'm like,
I can start taking steroids.
well, I wanted to address because I'm like, do you fucking people not know what steroids look like? Like Boozy is El Natural.
I would look way different if I was on steroids.
They just think as if someone's got big arms, they're on steroids. It's like no,
My
there's
voice would also be like 10 decibels lower. No, it would be lower.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So I thought you get higher when you do steroids.
No, because like like women get lower. I know girls
It's just
who are
all
on steroids.
testosterone, yeah.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
makes your voice really low.
Either way, welcome to Steroids Cast, everybody.
Well, nonetheless, we're happy you're doing well.
thank you.
What's your health rating on the Letterboxd scale right now?
Out of 5.
Yeah.
Mentally or physically?
You tell me.
And have you seen this before, or is this?
Yeah, is this a
Rewatch.
will it come off your watch list? What's you?
I'm at a solid 9.5 out of 10. Honestly,
You got to give us a 5.
Oh,
you gotta start-
4.5.
Wow.
Okay, well,
That's like a Joker score.
no, I have to go no comment. But I'm happy you're doing well. That's great.
All right, let's continue on with the show. So I have one last announcement, and that is actually I'm not even sure if of course I'm allowed to announce this. Everybody who was at the Saskatoon Fantastic Film Festival this year had the joy of attending the very first Drunken Cinema, in which we watched Nightmare on Elm Street. It was an incredibly fun time. Everyone in the theater had a blast. It was packed.
Awesome.
Everyone had such a good time, and guess what, baby? It's coming back. And so that's March 27th. We're going to be doing The Lost Boys.
Wow.
So I'm thinking March we got to do a vampire month. We've never done a vampire month, but leading up to The Lost Boys, that would be sick.
Hell yeah.
That makes perfect
I'm
sense.
down for that.
Yeah, and we also have the next movie after The Lost Boys planned out. Like, this is a thing that's going to be happening every 2.5 months, 2 months, something like that. And the next movie after that is going to be, it's not horror, but it's going to be fucking insane. I'm just going to say it's fucking Roadhouse. We're doing Roadhouse. So it's going to be an incredible amount of fun. So everyone make sure you go to the Saskatoon Fantastic Film Festival page, like and subscribe. I think that's how. No, you just
comment
like it.
first, then
I
subscribe.
don't think you can subscribe on Facebook.
No.
Can you?
You can like,
no,
maybe you
but-
can follow, you can
Yeah.
stalk.
Once we get all the event pages up, we'll share it, but that's going to be an insane amount of fun, so we're really looking forward to that. All right, boys, do you want to get on with question? Well, let's address the question of the week, and then we'll go to Kyle's new segment, which I hope doesn't take too much time because we got lots to talk about today.
It shouldn't take too long.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in for it. I love this idea. So I'm
Well, let's get into the first portion here.
Okay, so a question from last week was, what were you? This is the easy like fucking layup question. Is what are you looking forward to this year? And thank you to everyone who did send directly to our email, which was one person.
okay. Was it Bryson?
Nope. It was Darcy.
Oh, nice.
And okay, Alexis sent it through Instagram, so I'll just get that one out of the way. I had to pull that one up. She said she's excited for New Mutants.
Okay.
That was pretty much it. She just said New Mutants.
I'm very curious
know
about that
anything
one.
about it.
Yeah, and man, I think like
The trailer doesn't look half bad, honestly.
I think it looks pretty fucking cool, but the thing is like it's had a pretty troubled production so far. This was supposed to come out like a year ago, I'm pretty sure.
I even heard it got scrapped at one point.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I mean,
I've also heard rumors that like part of the reason why they had to cut it down is because they went like pretty hardcore in the horror. And I hope that that's true. That could be completely hearsay though.
is it PG though?
I think it's PG or it's 14A or something like that. But the thing is, it really does look like Dream Warriors, but with like superheroes.
Sure, yeah.
But I think it actually like it's one where I was like, I would like to hear what Boozy thinks about it, honestly, and going into it non-biased, just being like, just watch it as a movie, not a comic book movie. Because the thing is, I've never read any New Mutants.
Yeah,
but
I
I
don't
think
know
they,
anything
Are
about
they
that.
different from Old Mutants?
they're
I believe
new.
so.
They're new.
They're not quite old. They're on the
Are
fresher
they the
side.
Same people?
It's
No.
different than Fresh Mutants.
They're in the X-Men franchise, but they're not X-Men. Or they might
So
be.
they're
Bitch, I
not
don't know.
like
I've been out of the
like
game for a while.
Jean Grey or
No,
whatever.
I don't think
it's
there's
not
any
Jean
of
Grey.
that.
No.
See, look at me flexing my
Yeah.
knowledge of things.
There's no Phoenix.
I'm looking forward to New Mutants as well. I'm curious about New Mutants. I think the trailer looks pretty cool.
I'm not gonna write it off. I'm definitely down to check it out.
I was like really, really into the trailer until the last couple seconds, and that's where it looks like it starts getting very superhero-y. But I like that stuff. But the thing is, it just looks kind of like a cool movie.
It could work though. There's like some supernatural elements. I don't know. We'll
Fuck
see.
yeah.
We'll see.
Just give me another Brightburn. I don't give a shit about New Mutants.
It could be.
This looks like a
could be
better
around that,
Brightburn.
like,
This looks like a way better version of
Oh,
Brightburn.
also, we had 2 people message us.
Okay.
So, would you like me to read those off?
Yes,
please.
So, the first one comes up from my roommate, Tyler Sandine, who's very excited because Edge came back to the Royal Rumble. He's been retired for nearly 10 years, so I was very excited for everyone in the house.
Great.
Anyway,
That's
howdy,
really
my
exciting.
dudes. Here's my answers for your question of the week. These are in no particular order, just some films I'm hyped about for 2020. Number 1, The Lodge. I've heard some great things about this one. I'm really looking forward to checking it out in February. I forgot that comes out.
Director of Goodnight Mommy. I've heard good things. John has seen it. He saw the Fantasia. So he said it's good.
He's seen like everything before everybody.
That's because he's the OG.
Number 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I'm looking forward to it too.
I'm hoping this new movie in the Ghostbusters franchise knocks it out of the park. However, I'm keeping my expectations low. I really just want it to be a great film and not nostalgia grab. Number 3, Antlers. Antlers looks like a wild and scary ride. Hopefully it can deliver. I think Antlers. I think I've seen the trailer for it. I think it looks cool.
I watched it just today actually in preparation for this, and it looks pretty damn cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. Like, I'm gonna get it right out of the way. That's one of mine. Like, I'm very excited for that, but that mainly because it's Scott Cooper, director of Crazy Heart and Out of the Furnace and Black Mass. I know a bunch of people shit on Black Mass.
Mercenary, the one he just did last year, a couple years ago.
No, he did Hostiles.
Hostiles,
Hostiles was amazing, man. I loved
that's a great
Hostiles.
movie. Yeah.
I loved Hostiles, so I can't wait to see him do a horror movie.
Our next one, Saw 2020. Not 100% sure if this one will actually come out in May 2020. I'm assuming it will. The Saw franchise isn't for everyone, but I'm personally a huge fan of the franchise. My roommate's the biggest Saw person.
When we eventually do a Saw series, Tyler will come on for it. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I started rewatching because I thought we were gonna do a Saw series like 6 months ago, and I watched the first 5. I liked them substantially more than I did the time before.
Really?
Yeah. I don't understand why they won't release the Saw films in October anymore. I don't get that.
It got old for a while. They did 8 of them.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you're still making the damn movie and putting it out. You might as well
keep it up.
Yeah.
Sorry, he continues. I've really enjoyed all the Saw movies over the years, and I'm always game for more of these gore-tastic movies, even though the last one wasn't super gory.
No, but I didn't hate Jigsaw as much as the rest of the world, but that's because I don't give a fuck about the Saw franchise. Like, I don't, it's one of those ones where I don't care about, but I can have fun with it.
Fair.
Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
I kind of feel the same way. Honestly, I thought a lot about Saw actually while watching our
House of Wax.
About watching our feature presentation today. Just, I don't know. It reminded me definitely of that time, and I'm ready for another one. I've only ever seen the first 3, I think. For sure.
I like how that's like a small thing when it comes to the Saw set.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first 8, but
why didn't they start putting them out keep coming them out October? You saw 3 of them.
Yeah, but
you're the fucking problem.
Maybe that's
they
why.
still made them. I don't know. I'm not the problem here.
And his last one is Halloween Kills. I really enjoyed the last Halloween movie from 2018, and I'm really looking forward to these last 2 movies coming out this year and next year. And then he has a couple honorable mentions: The Invisible Man, Antebellum, Conjuring 3, Saint Maud, which I haven't seen a lot of people talking about Saint Maud, and it looks cool.
I don't think I know about that.
Quiet Place Part 2 and Last Night in Soho. Overall, I think 2020 could be a great year for horror, and I'm really looking forward to checking out these films. Keep up the great work. And he sent a little kissy face.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you want me to just hammer off the ones on Instagram? I'll just do it quick.
Oh, sure.
I don't know who these people are, so it's Cinder Sandrain says Antlers, New Mutants, Candyman, Halloween Kills, and Fear Street, to name a few. Shady Youngblood says Gretel and Hansel. Phil Dillon says New Mutants, Conjuring 3, and Antlers. The dude with zero potential says Grilltown, USA, Return to Tradition. That's one of your buddies.
That's my buddy, yeah.
So that's not a real movie. But Dusty Rhodes says Candyman, Antlers, Fear Street, Halloween, and VFW. Lana Banana says Antlers, Halloween Kills, kinda. Gretel and Hansel, kinda. The Invisible Man, Escape Room 2, lol. Ghostbusters.
Hey, we're in for it.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm thinking of Anything's probably most anticipated.
Yeah.
Quiet Place 2 and Promising Young Woman. Very excited. And then Kyle's roommate says The Invisible Man, A Quiet Place 2, and Antlers. So we can do it.
His Instagram handle is Kyle's.
Yeah, Kyle's _roommate.
Oh,
is that you?
That's not me.
Okay, that's not your roommate.
No, it's not my roommate either. So I don't know who the fuck that guy is. But thanks.
Let's talk about our own.
Wow, they fucking stole my idea. Sorry, we have one more. It was Darcy. This is about. Hold on, this is about House of Wax. We'll have to get back to this one.
We'll get back to that.
Damn it, Darcy.
Darcy's, I'm looking forward to it because I remember him sending in his top 10 most hated horror movies, and I know this is one of them. But also he has like 3 of my other favorite horror movies on that list. Like, I just can't back him up there. But like, we'll talk about it. Okay, so
wait. He has another one. He sent in 2. Sorry, there's so many emails. Question of the week 2020. He's interested in. This is from Darcy. Gretel and Hansel, The Lodge, After Midnight, Fantasy Island, VFW, Antlers, Antebellum, Candyman, Halloween Kills, and an unnamed Vince Vaughn horror comedy from Blumhouse. I do love Vince Vaughn.
Okay, I'm sold.
2020 looks like it's full of some great horror movies. A ton of directors. Incredible underrated horror movies are getting some bigger features, and as great as that sounds, I'm worried for the inevitable horror's popular phase with high-budget copy-paste horror movies that are terrible. Also, that new guy, K-Sauce, which part of your fantasy human centipede is he? Sent from Bell Huey device over Huawei? Oh, Huawei. It's Huawei. Okay, sent from Bell Huawei device over Canada's largest network.
All right, to quickly answer that so we can keep this thing on track, I would gladly put Kyle at the head of a human centipede. I would eat your shit.
Thank you, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty standard.
Thanks. It means a lot.
Pretty standard, honestly. I
Yeah, no,
appreciate
don't know.
that.
I think you keep it regular, so I can.
I'll eat the cuttlefish.
Where would you prefer him on a human centipede?
Yeah, honestly, if we had to interact with like other human centipedes, I'd probably want you at this. You're like the most politically correct.
Yeah.
And probably the like friendliest.
If we were in a school of human centipede people, we would probably be the mutual one who would never get like. No one would try to fight us.
We would potentially be the underdogs too.
Yeah.
We might potentially survive.
Honestly, like human centipede's like the ultimate buddy system. Like you're never gonna, if you go on a field trip, you're never gonna lose Kyle because you're eating his ass.
It takes it takes
like every field trip.
It takes a lot to say that I would want someone at the front. You have to be pretty high in my books to be at the front of the human centipede.
That's a compliment. One, I never thought I would get.
Yeah.
And two, I'm really happy.
Welcome to the Terror Table,
I'm really
Kyle.
happy to be here.
All right, should we do what our most anticipated are? Should I go first?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna start off with like Lana said, but also definitely not like Lana. I'm excited for Halloween Kills. I'm really excited for Halloween Kills. I didn't love the 2018 Halloween remake or sequel, but I'm still really looking forward to seeing what they're doing. But I really do I have a feeling that this one is going to go really off the rails. I have a feeling they're going to start doing some crazy shit now that they've gotten the second one. And that's what I want. I want it to be nuts. I don't want a copy paste Halloween movie. I want to see something new. So I'm looking forward to that.
Has there been much released about that yet? Like any?
They've been keeping it pretty far under wraps. But I listened to a podcast with one of the producers of it. So I've been like, and I always like. He's like my favorite person to follow on Instagram because I'm always lurking his shit because he's always leaking shit.
Little details.
Yeah, and I don't know. So I'm really looking forward to that. Like everyone else said, Antlers, like that's, if we were to have a discussion on filmmakers that we'd love to see horror that have never done a horror movie, Scott Cooper is at the very top of the list for me. So Antlers looks awesome. I'm very, very, very curious about what could be done with a new reimagining of Candyman. I love the 90s version of Candyman with Tony Todd and everything. Knowing Jordan Peele's behind it, it has me a little bit more excited. And I'm curious about the Invisible Man. I'm a sucker.
It looks good.
I'm a sucker for that kind
too.
of shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward for that. So, but those are mine.
Yeah,
But I think my number one this year is Halloween Kills. Like,
I can go
even
next.
though I didn't love it.
I think I'm on board with some of our fans out there as well as you, Mitch. Invisible Man, honestly, I'm down for. Like, I saw the trailer and it looked like a fun time, and also Elizabeth Moss.
I like Elizabeth Moss.
She's becoming one of my favorite actresses. She's a Scientologist, though.
I know,
which is
that's the
definitely
problem.
something.
We're canceling her.
Yeah.
Well, we'll save that for later.
Okay.
So definitely would check it out. Invisible Man, I'm looking forward to. I'm with you as well. Antlers. It just looks like at the very end of the day, it's probably going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
There's very little signs so far from what I've seen that make it seem like it's going to be complete shit. So worth checking out at the very least. Last Night in Soho. I don't know much about this
Except for it's Edgar Wright.
except that it's Edgar Wright and apparently it's horror. So it's on the list. Like I'll check it out.
I know that's what I'm. The reason why I didn't put that on mine is because I guess I still consider Shaun of the Dead a straight up horror movie.
Absolutely,
But
I think so.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I'm just curious to see. I have
And
no
that
idea.
movie
I have no
pays-
idea what it is.
And that movie pays a lot of homage to a lot of other genre films as well as horror. So he obviously has some ties, and I don't know.
People are gonna want to cancel me for what I'm about to say.
You're not a big Shaun of the Dead fan?
Fuck Baby Driver. Love Shaun of the Dead. I think Baby Driver's garbage.
I wouldn't go as far to say fuck Baby Driver,
No,
but it's about a
not
3.
It's not garbage. It is 3. It's a 3, and I don't know. I just
Never seen it.
It didn't connect with me at all. But I am like Edgar Wright's fucking amazing. I want to see what he does next, especially if it's going to be a horror movie.
Yeah, and it is Anya Taylor-Joy, who's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I like
she's in
I
New
like her.
Mutants, too.
Yeah. Oh, right. she
And
is.
The Witch.
Yeah. So
And Thoroughbreds. Have you seen Thoroughbreds? You'd like Thoroughbreds.
Yeah, I really like Thoroughbreds. Yeah. R.I.P. Anton. Anton. Okay, then my last one is I'm thinking of ending things, which again I actually don't know too much like plot wise, but this is the new Charlie Kaufman film. It's starring Toni Collette and Jessie Buckley. So
I read the book.
that. You've read the book
Twice.
Oh my god,
It's fucking awesome. I can't believe I didn't say that. But
Okay,
it's
so-
also because reading the book, yes, it does it gets very horror, and I don't know. I think it's because Charlie Kaufman being behind it. I'm not expecting. It's not going to be like a straight up horror movie.
Probably not.
But it's going to be great. I think it's a great story. It's a wicked twist ending.
Oh, great. I can't wait. I mean, I've loved all the films he's directed. I've loved a lot of films that he's written. So I'm looking forward to that. That's probably, at this point, number 1 on my list. There's a few other ones that I was looking at that I'm not super familiar with that I noticed a lot of people were looking forward to.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think there seems to be a couple good things coming out, at least from what we can tell at January.
Yeah.
Sweet. What about you,
from our long aspect?
Yeah.
Well, obviously we know I'm fucking head over heels. I'm so excited for Halloween Kills. They've already tipped their hat that there's gonna be some scenes in a hospital, which like that's some of my favorite. I know you were saying you want them to do new stuff, but like Michael in a hospital is like my favorite setting for him.
No, I'm totally down for Hospital Michael again.
Yeah,
like, 100%.
Like every time they've done it in a movie, it's paid off well. Even Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was a rough scene because he's killing Octavius, but he kills Ma.
Yeah,
Octavia Spencer.
I was wondering why she looks so familiar.
And it's like the most uncomfortable scene because it's like Octavia Spencer's such a sweetheart though. Like, when she's not pooing in Bryce Dallas Howard's pie. You seen The Help?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mitch had to
Poor
explain that whole
Octavia.
thing.
I never saw Ma though.
We'll talk about it.
The other one is, I don't know if anyone's mentioned. I'm really bad at like keeping track of what people say. After Midnight looks really good.
Oh no one did
no,
mention
no,
it, but Christian Stella, director and writer, was on Erie International.
Was he?
Yeah, they did. It's the guys behind The Battery.
Yeah, it looks really,
I love
Henry
that movie.
Zabrowski's in it.
And Hong Kong Zabrowski.
Yeah, Hong Kong Zabrowski. It's a really cool idea though. It's basically this dude's girlfriend disappears in the woods, and then ever since she disappeared, a monster keeps coming to this dude's house and trying to break in. It looks really fun.
Sick.
It's
Okay.
it looks lower budget, which whatever, but it looks like a lot of fun.
But those guys have historically done some really great things on a low budget, so that's awesome. Cool.
Saint Maud looks awesome. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. It's an A24 movie. Like I'm super excited for Saint Maud.
I think John has seen that as well.
And
I think,
then
did
he say if he liked it?
I think so. I think it's one that, like, from what I can remember, it's one that challenges. Obviously, it's a challenging movie. It's an A24 release.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those ones where I think he was, when John and I were talking about it, he's gonna be mad about this if I'm getting it wrong, but I think he was saying that he doesn't think it's gonna get a mainstream release, but it actually is now. It's shown that it's gonna be in like Cineplex.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's cool. Hopefully, it's more of a Midsummer, not an In Fabric.
Is that where we're going with?
Hopefully, it's more of a
A24.
Hereditary and not
I was going from last year's A24.
Oh, okay.
Cut me some slack.
And then the other one I'm really excited for is The Lodge. The Lodge looks super cool, and that's coming out on the 7th, so right away. I'm really
director
excited.
of Goodnight Mommy.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
I know. I was so. And P.S. I need to fucking get this out of the way. I've had like 10 people seriously message me, be like, "Dude, have you seen The Color Out of Space?" I'm like, "Fuck, I've talked about that movie on the podcast so many times. We showed it at the film festival, but everyone's seeing
I
it now
saw
because
someone tag me or you and me in that today,
it's
which
'cause
I appreciate. I haven't seen it.
well, it's because everyone's pirating it right now. It's not out, but the stream is out, and it's like, so all these people are like, "Hey, guess what? I'm pirating this." And it's like, Jesus Christ! Like, we showed it at the film festival, and I'm just gonna quickly say, like, people seem to be loving it, and that's good.
That's
and I'm
the
excited.
Nicolas Cage one, right?
Yeah, he's gonna ruin it for you. He's going to destroy it for you because it's a good movie. But and I'm a Nicolas Cage like purist. I love Nicolas Cage.
A historian.
Take him entirely out of this movie, and it's a better movie. He's funny in the movie.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the movie doesn't need to be funny. It's actually like it's such a good movie outside of him being screaming about alpacas. But
It's Lovecraft, right?
It's a Lovecraft with Richard Stanley, and that's man. Because I subscribe to some like most horror podcasts, but I don't listen to all of them. And it's like Richard Stanley's been on every single podcast. I'm like, man.
Oh, so eventually they're gonna kick the can down to us, eh?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get.
By the time he's like, I have nothing to say to anybody.
Yeah. But I don't know. Where were we just talking about?
The Lodge.
The Lodge, yes. The Lodge was supposed to play at the film festival. Like, John was trying really hard to get it to play, and something happened where he wasn't able to pull it off. But he had seen it at Fantasia, says it's great. I've heard it's a good director, Goodnight Mommy, which is a 80% really good movie. I just don't like the ending of that movie.
So this movie, pretty good chances at this point.
Oh, I'm very curious.
At least 75.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll take it.
I think that's everybody. Did you check the Facebook?
Yeah, but, well, fuck Facebook.
Lots of people commented on Facebook.
Yeah, I think I saw a few on there.
Yeah.
Well, do you want... okay, I'll quickly fucking do it right now.
I can pull it up.
I got it. Just you guys are doing such a bad job at filling the air.
Kyle, do you have
wow.
access to all our shit already?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen you
Dwight Fries.
on the gram or anything.
I don't like to meddle. You know,
post a meme.
Maybe I could.
What do you
post a
mean
meme.
meddle? You're part of the fucking podcast.
I don't know. It's just I don't want to like.
Do you
offend.
still not feel like you're fully offend someone with? Are you kidding
No,
me?
I feel like I'm fully there. It's just you know.
dabble, like just post a meme on the story and see how you feel after.
I think I just need to
Post
like
a
jump
picture
in
of
the
your
deep
dick.
end. You know what I mean? Like
Post a picture of your dick on the story and quickly delete it.
I have a friend who did that on Snapchat once.
Oh no.
Yes, on the story.
I can't,
What?
I can't figure out how to.
I won't disclose who.
How do you fuck up a dick pic on Snapchat?
Well, because I think it's like, you know, it was like when the story thing was brand new and you could like send a
Oh,
story as
fuck.
well as like the person.
I think it default put it on your story at the very beginning.
Yeah, it was like, in his defense, it was like right when that began. And so it
Oh,
wasn't
they're
on there
gonna
for
be
long.
In
But
his defense, it was a good looking unit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well-
So let's get this out of the way, guys. Dwight Fry says Fantasy Island has definitely caught my attention. Also, VFW looks like it's going
What
to
is
be fun.
VFW?
is that like VFW halls? Like
Yeah, that's
like,
all I can think about
yeah.
is VFW halls.
I'm going to be completely honest. I wish there was one of us who could say that we knew what VFW was, but I know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
Is that
It's a
where,
veteran
like-
hall?
Is that where like
A group of
Census
war.
Fail played in 1999?
Yes, a group of war veterans must defend their local VFW post
Yes.
and an innocent teen against a deranged drug dealer and his relentless army of punk mutants.
Oh,
that sounds awesome.
okay.
And
Is
look at the
this
poster.
green room but with old people?
Yeah, and it's the dude from Don't Breathe, the guy who gets cum on his face.
Okay, I think safe to say we'll be checking
old cummy
VFW.
face.
I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so back to what I was looking at. So Dwight says that. Brian Leader says not exactly a horror, but Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead synchronic is something I'm looking forward to. Ditto on that. I've liked everything those guys have done.
I'm always interested to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
You
big
didn't
on
like the endless, yeah.
But
I really.
it was cool. Like
I think. I don't even. I did like it. But still, Spring is by far my favorite.
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
theirs.
Spring was way.
And
better.
you will love Spring.
Yeah, I haven't checked out any of their stuff yet, actually.
Lee Beckman says Halloween Kills and Antlers. Marla Saunders says Antlers. Darcy says Antebellum. Kyle says Candyman. Bryson Burtock says Halloween Kills. All right, so we can move on.
Is that the one with
Such
Is
a
that
bad-
Annabelle?
No.
no?
It's not. Oh, thank God, it's not.
Who's the
Annabelle.
singer? The girl from Moonlight. What's her name?
I don't know what. I'm sorry. I
Julie,
don't.
Julianne
Julianne Moore.
Janelle Monáe. I think
Yeah,
she's in that movie.
that's the one. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
okay.
one.
Julianne Moore. Come on.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, I don't know much.
I saw the
about
trailer for that
Antebellum.
before what was it called? Not Underworld.
Underwater.
It's not Underworld.
Underworld.
All right, Kyle, you want to introduce your new segment that we're gonna do until the steam wears off?
Okay, we're gonna give this a shot, everyone. So buckle up.
And send in your choices.
Buckle up. Send in your choices.
They can't be us though.
Start deleting old Facebook posts now. This is what we're calling the cancellation of the week, and where each one of us have picked one person to cancel.
Does it have to be a person, or can it also be like a thing?
I think we could cancel things.
I'm into
I think,
cancel-
I'm gonna run out of people.
I already
I think we can cancel things.
because
So,
originally I wanted to also keep it in horror, like cancel people in horror, but like that's tough because I only really have one that I can think of. Off the top of
Also,
my
if we
Well-
keep sliding people, no one's gonna want to talk to
this
us.
this might be the worst idea, Kyle.
well, like I said, I'm going into the deep end here.
Okay.
Okay, so I kind of have two picks. One is not quite a real pick though. Just because I don't really want to kick them all these down, and the first pick is Tanner Z.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so
I think he's already canceled.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
already canceled.
So that was actually my initial person when I have really wanted to do this to begin with.
You started a whole segment just to kick this man while he's down.
Honestly, yes.
Because I put a
Yeah.
gypsy curse on him.
That was my number one thing for news is rest in peace, Tanner Z.
So Tanner Z has fans of the show will know that Tanner Z, host of Time Play in the Cineplex pre-show, has been fired and let go from his hosting duties. Whatever
He's
you wanna
also
call
a
it.
childhood friend of yours.
Well, I wouldn't say childhood friend. It's more of an acquaintance.
Okay. I was like, man, you're throwing some major heat for a guy you used to like.
He was a couple
You
years
used to
older
kick
than
it
me.
with.
His best friend was in Palms of the Sky. It was one of those things.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I know those things.
Yeah, it's one of those. He gave me a keychain for what's that Eddie Murphy movie? The Haunted
Pluto
Mansion.
Nash.
The Haunted
Oh,
Mansion.
Haunted
Oh my
Mansion. yeah.
God.
Anyways, whatever. So
He's like, hey kid, and just toss this at
So
you.
for the record, though, I am not canceling Tanner Z because I don't want to kick him while he's down.
He's already done that himself.
And there's also that. So we'll let it be. Well, that one I'm gonna go right by.
I love that I got tagged in that like 80 times.
I
and
love
it's
that.
just because I tweeted as a joke one time and he responded.
Well, we've
And
also
it
talked
I
about it
think
on the
it's
show.
because talking-
it's snowballed since then.
I don't think it's the tweet. I think it's us talking about saying "fuck Tanner Z" every single
Welcome
episode.
to Tide Play.
Yeah.
Okay, and then my other person that I would like to cancel, or my main feature selection is Chad Michael Murray. I think it's
Oh my God, good
I
choice.
think it's safe to cancel Chad Michael Murray, and I think we're just
I think
waiting
he
for.
canceled him. So, like,
Yeah.
you're a little late on this.
He's
one.
he's in a new Joe Dante produced horror movie.
Is he?
I looked.
Camp Coldbrook or something.
I looked up
Looks
kind of
terrible.
what he's been up to lately, and he hasn't done anything that is cancel worthy. But I'm just waiting for that bomb to explode.
How is he aged?
He looks the exact same,
looking,
honestly.
He's looking pretty good, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh.
I think he's one of those guys that will probably always be a good-looking dude.
Because there's
Man,
like some of those like
fuck.
teen heartthrobs who just turn into like all of a sudden.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, Josh
still looks
Hartnett
good.
And Josh,
Okay.
and Josh Hartnett's a good actor. Chad Michael Murray was never
Never
a good actor.
actor.
No.
And that's
He's
why
never
I think
good.
he deserves cancellation.
Yeah. He was
I-
only famous because he was hot, and he's
He-
not even hot.
He was like he just did that thing where he was bald kind of and grimaced. He'd
Yeah.
just be like,
Well,
This is gonna be another
We
one of
might
those
get-
things where we get shit on because it's just like it's listening to a bunch of straight dudes talk
Yeah.
about which guys are hot or not.
all the One Tree Hill fans are going to be so pissed off.
But
But
he sucks.
anyway, we might get into it a little bit later. But I'm also going to try my best to pick someone to cancel from whatever we're covering from the week. That is.
That's a better idea, and I love how you chose Chad Michael Murray instead of Paris Hilton.
Yo, I'm definitely pro Paris over fucking Chad Michael Murray. I'm gonna put that right now. in
Okay,
there.
just as long as you're just as long as you got love for Alicia Cuthbert.
I do, and we'll definitely
We
get to
will
that.
get
we'll
to
get to
that.
that. Anyways, so yeah, that's my cancellation of the week.
okay,
Cool. Boozy, you want to go next year?
sure.
Mine suck compared to that.
I have two as well, and they're big enough that they don't have to worry about this shit. But whatever.
Mac and cheese.
Oh no, I know exactly what the number one is going to be. Can I guess it?
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr.
that's one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, see, I don't
Get
get
the
it.
fuck out of
Man.
my face, Robert Downey Jr.
I love Robert
Wow.
Downey Jr. Like,
Yeah,
I-
do you love how he
Yo,
made? Yeah,
Boozy's like, God, he went wide-eyed. Yeah. You like Robert Downey Jr.?
Did the Joe Rogan interview really get to you, or what?
I didn't listen to it.
I didn't listen to it. I just hate him.
Oh, I
And
love-
also the fact that like, thank you for remaking the fucking Doctor Doolittle,
you
which
think
is
that-
exactly what we.
that wasn't
That's not
his-
even got to be a fucking. They can't have that much money that they're like get that Robert Downey Jr. money for fucking Doctor Doolittle.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
I've heard 2-year-olds are loving it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. 2-year-olds need
That's
movies
what
too.
they're meant for. Like, that,
Okay,
that
but when
movie-
it came out, I was the fucking target audience. I watched Doctor Doolittle's 1 and 2, and there's probably a 3.
There's
Boozy, there is not a single fucking world where we could be living in where you would go see a new Doctor Doolittle movie. It could be starring Tom Hardy and you wouldn't go see it.
Well, man, if it was Tom Hardy,
Doctor fucking
know you
Doolittle.
wouldn't.
What are we
guys,
talking about?
I went to see
Also, Dr.
Yogi
Doolittle-
Bear, so
That's
What?
fucked up.
That is
fucked up.
That
bro.
is fucked
That is a
up.
fucking shit
No.
movie. I don't fucking like Yogi
I
Bear. That
went-
shit's offensive.
I
Nobody
went in
saw
Rainbow.
Nobody
not
saw
even a
Yogi
sa-
Bear.
that doesn't. That's not a.
All
saving
right, and the
grace.
other one, Johnny Depp.
I was gonna.
I never liked Johnny
Is,
Depp.
okay, is
I
he
used
already
to.
canceled though?
Yeah, no,
in some,
he's
in
not,
some
man.
circles. In
I
some
u-
circles.
I see. Here's the thing: is I'll go with you. I'll go with you 80% of the way because I love early Johnny Depp, like Edward Scissorhands. And
Yeah,
shit like
well,
that.
absolutely.
that's like a given, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think he's got to stop.
But okay,
He's stinking up.
he should have
remember-
retired after like the first Pirates, and that would have been.
Manny, he's so good in Pirates, but he's fucking
hate-
terrible. Oh, really? I love those movies.
I-
But the first two I like.
But
But
doesn't
when
even
you make-
act. He just like,
then he does act. Are you kidding me? That's an incredible. That's
all he
incredible performance. Johnny,
I will admit,
Captain
by
Jack
the fourth
Sparrow.
one, that's exactly what he's doing. For the audio listeners at home, what Boozy is doing is he's actually putting his hand at a certain angle and going, and
that's
that is Johnny Depp's performance in
You
the last
summed it up a
two.
lot.
No, but like, okay, here's
Pirates
what I want.
films.
The main reason I want to get at this is because I remember exactly where I was. I was at your old place, not at your dad's house. Before that,
Yeah.
we were watching some. It was either a movie awards or a music awards.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Hollywood Vampires played.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's this really fat, ugly version of Johnny Depp playing guitar? And then it's like, oh, that's actually Johnny Depp. Like, it looks like a bloated corpse of what, like, if he got murdered, if he got murdered and found in like a culvert a week later, that's what he looked like.
I was about to say, I'm not about to cast stones that I don't fully know about, but we are in a cancel section of the show right now.
Hey, feel free to cancel and whatever you want.
But I'm just saying, like, there's
a safe spot.
It's a safe space.
No one knows what's going on with the him and Amber Heard thing. If it is true, he's got to just fucking expire. But like he's been accused of beating her, and then he's now saying that she was beating him. It's like, hey, I've seen Never Back Down. I know if Amber Heard can fight or not.
But then again, like, have you seen him? Like, he's
Never Back Down.
That was a bad. I saw that in the theater. That's worse than Yogi Bear. No, it's not.
No, Yogi Bear's
I like how you took that back instantly.
No, Yogi Bear is one of the worst things I've ever.
Hey, boo boo.
Don't go there.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen? Well, I think I already know your answer, but mine is like I walked out of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but I was 11.
I actually like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. It's a different discussion for another day.
Okay.
Actually, I have to bring it up really quick. On the Shark Boy and Lava Girl director's commentary,
what the fuck? Fuck you! Who watches the Shark Boy and Lava Boy?
This guy, Robert Rodriguez introduces the commentary saying exactly this. Hello, everyone. This is Robert Rodriguez, and this is one of the best films I've ever made, Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Holy fuck!
Blows my mind.
I did not even know that Rodriguez did that movie.
Well, his kid wrote it. Whatever. That's total tangent here. The worst film I think I've ever seen is still probably Paul Blart Mall Cop. That's the only one I've ever walked out of.
Oh man!
But Yogi
Great
Bear
film.
was I felt like someone had opened up my head entirely and just was taking a scalpel to my brain, and I was still seeing image. Fuck Yogi Bear.
I was gonna say
Tanner Z
cancel.
is cooler than Yogi Bear.
I was gonna say cancel T.J. Miller, but he's already done that because T.J. Miller was the voice of Yogi Bear, I think.
Who played the Ranger?
Oh my God! What's his face?
Was it Nick Swardson?
No. He's
Nick Swardson.
He's a Canadian actor. Fuck, what's his name?
Jay Baruchel?
Don't say John Bernthal.
He played the Ranger. What are you doing here, Carl? Okay,
anyway.
is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh man, mine totally suck compared to this. But I just want this is my way of clearing the air once again about how 4 or 5 years ago I went through a phase, and this was when Boozy and I first became friends.
Is this your Drake phase?
I'm canceling Drake. Drake's got to be canceled. Man, he's a pedophile. This dude is a straight up pedophile. He's texting Millie Bobby Brown. He was dating a girl who just turned 18.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Mark my words, next 20 years, he's going down. Like maybe next 10. I think he's going down.
Oh, so you're saying like that bubble's gonna burst and all this shit's gonna come out?
This is like a projected cancel or a current cancel?
I'm saying it's a projected cancel, but I wouldn't be hurt if he was canceled now. I think he hasn't released anything good in a very long time.
It's a very long time. I mean, as a large Degrassi fan, it's hard for me to admit it, but I think I'm with you. I'm with you.
He's turned his back on Degrassi, though. He left us all in the dust. He put us in
but the I'm Upset music video was actually paying a lot of respect.
But that's a terrible song.
It's a really bad song.
It's a really bad song.
So it's a kind of a double-edged sword there.
Last one, I'm canceling Eli Roth if I can, just because as much as I said before, last time I saw Hostel, I liked it substantially more than the previous times. I've just heard too many dirty things from about that guy that I can't believe it. I can't believe he's still allowed to make movies. Just from the stuff I've heard. But
Green
I said,
Inferno is
this
really
could he primarily makes shit movies, but I also it's all hearsay. I nothing's proved. I don't know anything yet. I just don't like his movies. He did not do Wrong Turn.
No, he did.
How the fuck do you not know who did Wrong
Cabin
Turn?
Fever.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever is my favorite movie of his.
I was gonna say that
the
one's
guy
pretty
who
good.
made Wrong Turn will tell you he made Wrong Turn.
I feel
point.
I feel like Roth is. I feel there's a sense of extreme ingenuine.
Ingenuity?
No.
Injustice?
No, Jesus
Gods
Christ.
Among Men?
Genuine?
He's just not good. Yeah.
He's not genuine.
Cancel Gerard Butler. Jesus, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I couldn't
I'm
agree
taking
more.
it back.
Definitely,
Fuck Gerald Butler.
You can cancel Eli Roth too. I mean, this is the
Yeah.
cancel.
Let's get rid of him.
We got too many now. What
Gerard Butler.
What are we going to do next week?
I want Butler gone.
What are we going to do?
That's actually a good point. If you have one in your head, keep it for next week. I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for you two, but I think this week's session of the cancellation corner has gone well.
It was a success.
So I think we're gonna
let's move on. Let's wrap up.
We'll wrap it up and we'll save.
I think my favorite part of it is me imagining John Bernthal as
Yogi
Ranger
Bear?
Dave.
Right. Yeah.
All right. You guys want to talk about horror movies?
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Let's get it.
Who wants to go first? Let's switch up because I'm sure we've all seen quite a bit since then. Have you, Kyle?
Okay, admittedly, I have not seen much, if not.
Don't worry, I got you covered this week.
But
for once.
You guys might hate me for doing this, but really the only film I would classify as a horror film that I've seen recently is Cats 2019.
No fucking way. You saw it? I wanted to do an episode.
How good was it?
I saw. Oh my. Okay, I wrote this down as a joke.
I wanted to do it. No, but I wanted to do an episode.
Okay,
on Cats.
well we still can for sure. I'm not going to talk about it long.
You paid money to go see it.
It was at Rainbow.
You're sick.
Actually, a friend paid for it. Anyway, I won't talk about it too much.
Actually, I snuck in.
It's not actually a horror movie, obviously, but it is by far the worst movie I've seen.
Is it one of those things where you're like, how did this get by everybody? Like, how did this get...
Oh my God.
I'm going to be real. You're the only person that I know in the flesh who has seen it.
Okay,
yeah, dude.
Actually, we should try to see it sooner than later altogether.
I would love to.
Because it's playing at Rainbow in Saskatoon right now, and they have the copy of the film that hasn't been updated, so it has all of the shit in it.
Is it like where the hand is?
Yes.
What's it? Judi Dench, her hands aren't
like
finished?
freak out. And you
but
see
they're human hands, aren't they?
Yeah. And you also see like her wedding ring is just on her hand.
Oh my God.
And
I also heard they're all walking like an inch above the floor.
All of like the what's the word, like the scale of like the cats to the
buildings.
I can't even talk about this movie. Makes no sense. And actually at one point you almost can see, like, not necessarily like a cursor, but you can see where something is being edited and stretched, like
as it's happening.
It's like the movie was not finished. Anyways, this is mostly a joke. Cats is not a horror film, obviously you all know that, but it was a horrifying experience.
I've heard it's actually scary.
It's like,
because Idris Elba scared me in that.
It's like some weird uncanny valley shit that I can't fully describe, and also I couldn't even begin to tell you what the fuck that movie's about or what happened. Like, it's a blur.
I just love that Idris Elba's like, I don't want to do action movies anymore. I want to do serious dramas like Cats.
Oh man, trust me. We tried watching Hobbs and Shaw. He's trying to do action movies still. It's just he's also doing garbage like this.
I'll put it this way. About halfway into Cats, I left the theater and watched Parasite for 20 minutes. I went back into the theater.
Really?
Dead serious.
On your phone or
no? It was in the other theater. Parasite was playing.
Yeah, Parasite was at Rainbow.
Yeah. So I was like, I went to the washroom because I had to clear my brain, and I saw Parasite. I'm like,
wait,
might as well.
Someone paid for you to get in, and you just bounced on them.
Honestly, in my world, that's punishable by death.
And
to go see Cats when you could be seeing Parasite, even if you've seen Parasite 5 times.
I'll paint a picture for you. Three of us went. 2 of us went to the washroom to wash our hands together, which is a little weird, but fair enough.
You're like, hold on, I want you to sing all of Happy Birthday so you get all the germs off, because that's what I learned. 99.9% of germs, you got to sing the full Happy Birthday song.
It worked in this case. 99 was gone.
I don't want you to sing it too fast.
We split ways though. I went to Parasite and he went to Ford v Ferrari for 20 minutes.
Man,
and then we went back and watched.
That's one movie I know
Cats.
I know you weren't crazy about, but that's one I'm still dying to see. I still haven't seen it.
I love watching.
I like all those actors. I love the director.
Oh, actually, I don't really feel like
I like dad movies. Like my dad and I went to movies.
White man versus white man race car movie.
Yeah, my dad and I are probably going to go see Just Mercy this week. So just an example.
Hey. Honestly,
I'm excited for it.
Ford v Ferrari is not a bad movie. I'm not trying to say that. It's just nothing special, in my opinion. Anyways, the one horror movie I saw was Cats.
Okay, but you can talk about one other thing after. We'll go around the table. We each share one or two, and then you can come back. But if you want to talk about one other thing, you can.
Sure.
That you've seen recently.
Do you want to talk about JoJo? Is that what you're thinking?
After we switch it around. But yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Boozy, do you want to share one?
Oh, okay. I finally finished The Last of Creep Show. I had 2 episodes left. Finished that. What a great show.
You like it?
Yeah. I'm totally on board for more.
I only saw the first two episodes, and I just haven't caught up. But
they get like really dark.
Yeah, I've heard mostly bad things, but I trust you.
Yeah, I was totally fine with it, and I like practical effects, which they have. I don't know. There's something about anthology shows where like we've gotten a lot of terrible ones, so I think this one's fine. Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna like go out and buy it if it ever came out on like physical, but it's fine.
I really liked the first half of the first episode, like the first segment. So I'm curious,
like
and I think the werewolf one is pretty
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. Yeah. Cool. So that's one thing you saw. Do you got a bunch of stuff today?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll hammer off one, then I'll toss it back to you. But one thing we talked about, I do this frequently on the Terror Table, is I shit on a movie, then I realize maybe I should revisit it because it's been a long time since I've done this. And last episode we talked about Underwater, in which I also threw The Cave under the bus.
I actually was listening to the end of that, and I heard you talking about The Cave, and I'm like, has he seen The Cave?
You pointed it out to me a couple times. I've seen it 3 times, and I hated it when it first came out.
I know you hated it.
But I think it's also because it came out around the same time as The Descent, and it was like, I was an immature child, and I couldn't handle having 2 cave movies.
There was also
That's
The
fair.
Cavern, I believe.
Yeah.
There was like a whole bunch.
Either way, The Cave, not horrible.
Caves
but
were
not,
hot that year.
The Cave from, I think this is 2007. I'm going to pull it up right here because...
No, Descent was 2005.
Okay, then it would have been 2005.
Why the fuck do I know that?
Yeah, it's 2005.
The Descent is that old?
Yeah, that's the thing is it
Holy
came out the same year. Okay, so this one has
That's House of Wax.
Piper Perabo, who's like she's from Coyote Ugly. If you've seen that, Morris.
Don't Fight the Moonlight.
Yeah, who's the guy that I fucking hate? Oh yeah, and Cersei's in this, Lena Headey, and who's the main actor that isn't top billed here? Cole Hauser, I think his name is. He's in like Too Fast, Too Furious. He's the villain in Too Fast, Too Furious.
Right.
No, terrible.
Everybody remembers that guy.
Okay, so The Cave is bloodthirsty creatures await a pack of divers who become trapped. Wow.
What the fuck?
Oh my
Who
god, the
become
cave got him.
Yeah.
become trapped in an underwater cave network. Okay, so here's the thing. This movie's not good, but it's not bad. It's like there are moments of really cool creature effects. I think
the creatures are
when
awesome.
when the creatures do show up and they're practical, they look fucking awesome. But then it's got the early 2000s tinge of like really bad CGI that's
When they're, like,
glossing over it.
flying?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
whenever they're flying is when it's a problem. But there's moments of complete stupidity in the lore, but these creatures and what they're capable of, and that's what makes me like it. Is like there are moments where it's like, oh, what, these creatures are able to do this now,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's like a kid in a sandbox. He's being like, but my guy can do this and this and this and this. And then
It's like that one kid when you're playing War who's like, well, I actually have a shield. You're like, you don't have a fucking
Oh my
shield.
God.
but I remembered
that kid.
I remember what my biggest problem was with this movie, and it's an offense that happens in a lot of horror movies it tends to make me rate the movies off right away. I hate shaky cam, and that's coming from a guy who loves the Blair Witch Project.
Right.
Thing
That's
is,
different, though.
shaky cam
Different.
it has a time and a place.
Totally.
It does have a time and a place. But anytime it's like they're covering up. They're just covering something up here, and or else
Right.
they're trying to make it intense, and it's like this isn't intense.
So it feels
but
lazy. It doesn't
it's
feel
super lazy,
Okay,
and it's
okay.
like. But the thing is, the movie as a whole, honestly, it's a 3 out of 5. Like I think,
Oh.
it's not terrible.
I'm glad you gave it another chance.
Yeah, and honestly, I might rewatch again at some point. But I think it is one of those ones where by the end of it, it's just like, hey, I'm kind of over this now. But it was fun for a little
the
bit.
idea of they actually gave like the creatures some lore, and they weren't just like a by the book. Like nothing looks entirely like they do, and I think it looks cool.
Yeah.
and I also
Right,
like
right.
the sound that like I can even picture
Yeah.
the sound that they make.
The thing about these types of movies is like what Underwater proved is like there's a lot of these movies, but very few of them
Do it
are
right,
very good.
yeah.
And the thing is, like, I think Underwater, like, it's grown on me even more since we
Oh,
recorded
dude.
our episode.
I think on it fondly, honestly. It's only been a couple of weeks.
I think
but
it's a good movie, and it's definitely a really good movie. Like I praise it quite a bit. Like I enjoyed it when I saw it, but I think Underwater is definitely better than The Cave. But if you're looking for something that's kind of in line with that, but like something you can kill a couple hours on a Sunday morning or Saturday afternoon or something like that, it's a movie that you could check out if you're a fan of aquatic horror. But yeah, so that's The Cave from 2005. Kyle, do you want to tack on one more?
Sure, yeah. One thing I guess
We'll
bring-
double team it together.
Yeah, we'll double team this one together. We'll half centipede. Wait, what? Okay.
I'll hold the camera. Mitch's joke.
This isn't a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie for the record, but it's horror adjacent, we'll
Yes.
say. The director is Taika Waititi.
Yes.
Of course, director of What We Do in the Shadows, and is he the full director of the series as well?
No, he didn't direct every episode.
Okay,
but,
yeah. Didn't think so, but anyhow, so that's how we're relating this. His latest film, JOJO Rabbit, came out last year already, but me and Mitch have both seen it recently.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where I saw it after I had made my list because I didn't think I was going to be able to see it, but then I found out
Right.
that our theater was showing it, and
Yeah.
I saw it, and
Okay, what'd you think? Did I see your rating? Did you put it on Letterboxd?
I've been curious if you saw it because I know we talked about it, and like
Hold on.
what you said was it's good. Dude, I fucking loved Jojo Rabbit. I think that movie
That
is
doesn't
like
surprise me, though.
Yeah, see-
and I'm happy you enjoyed it.
yeah, and that's the thing for me. It's very much my thing. Like this is just like it's Taika Waititi.
What is it?
Man, Boozy, I cannot wait to have a movie night and show you this
Is
movie.
it a movie or a TV
It's
show?
a movie. It's Jojo Rabbit. Taika Waititi plays this kid's imaginary friend who is Adolf Hitler.
Sold. I'm already
and
there,
it's
there for
it's
that.
the fun.
Okay, well,
man,
this
I thought you're reading my review.
I'm trying to find your goddamn
I gave
rating.
it 4.5.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I gave it 4.5 because honestly, it's one of those movies that even Courtney and I, we were losing it. Like, keep in mind, we were on the green. Like, we were smoking a little bit of that devil's lettuce. but we had such a good time. And like, it was one of those movies where Courtney and I, we like walked out of it. We're like, man, I can't wait to watch that movie over and over again.
Maybe I would
Is
enjoy
it
it.
like that, like What We Do in Shadows kind of vibe? Where you're like, I want to watch that.
You put it the best way, and a lot of people are comparing it to this. Is that it's Moonrise Kingdom, but with Taika Waititi and Nazis?
Absolutely, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and I love Moonrise. I do like Moonrise Kingdom a lot, but like I think that this movie, like it's his wit and his charm, and how how Taika Waititi is able to put heart into everything that's so also cruel. Like, he makes some cruel humor.
Oh, absolutely.
That is filled with heart. And that's why it worked for me tenfold. I was losing it.
I wanted more of, like, the first 20 minutes. I wanted, like, because, like, what a strong premise. Like, one of the best fucking ideas you could almost ever have. I wanted him to go a little bit more with it. I wanted him to use that a bit more. The lighter half of this film, honestly, is pretty by the numbers, in my opinion.
I think it's heavy.
It has a lot of heart, and it's definitely heavy, but I don't know. At that point, it's like I kind of didn't care, to be honest. Like, I really wanted like the first like 20, 30 minutes of that movie again. Like, I wanted like him to sort of extend that idea into the film.
I get it, but I also I just loved the other characters as well. I really liked the kid.
I like the kid's
JOJO.
friend as well.
Oh my god, yeah, he's so funny.
He's gonna be the new Kevin in the new Home Alone movie in the remake.
Really?
Yeah,
he's fucking hilarious.
And he's hilarious. Yeah.
Oh man.
So I don't know. I feel like this is one of those examples of a movie that like I rate a 3. And people feel like I'm shitting on it. I need to make it clear that something that is a 3 is not a bad movie.
No, 3 is not a bad score.
In fact, that's actually, in my opinion, a good movie. And I really wanted to like JoJo more because a lot of people who I trust their opinion, just like yourself as well here, Mitch, were rating it very highly. And I was like really excited to like check it out. But I don't know. I just don't think I connected with it.
Did you like What We Do in the Shadows?
That movie is almost perfect in my mind.
Yeah, because like honestly, What We Do in the Shadows is still way better than Jojo Rabbit. But the thing is, they're completely different kinds of comedy. But
it's kind of unfair to totally compare them. I think like the comedy is similar in a way, like his brand or how you kind of put it there of comedy, I think is present, but it's still presented in a much different way. And I like it better in What We Do with the Shadows because it's more rampant throughout the film, and like you kind of feel it as like, I don't know, a thread throughout the film that comedy is the forefront, where this movie, I don't know, not that it has to be a comedy, but when you have like such a fucking insane premise like that,
it's so funny.
I just want it to go a little bit more like balls to the wall. Yeah. That's just me though. I don't know.
It is one of those movies that it actually gets like, there was like a couple moments where I was actually like tearing up a little bit. Like I like the heart was working for me, which I can understand how it wouldn't.
And I have no heart, and I'm trying to just either laugh or look stern.
Yeah, you don't want to do both.
Nothing.
But
no,
I feel like Taika Waititi is like the modern day. He's putting out like the modern day Monty Python movies, and like that's what I'm. And totally. Honestly, I think they're better.
And I like the guy, and I think obviously most of, if not all, the films he's made are good. I love Boy. I don't know if that's his first film, maybe his second, but. Anyway, I don't want to shit on too much, but I'm happy you enjoyed it. I think it's one of those movies like from this like season of like highly praised, I don't know, awards movies. Yeah. It's probably the one I'm gonna need to watch again and maybe I'll appreciate it later.
Yeah, you should, because also I haven't seen enough praise for it, in my opinion. Like
I've seen a lot. I've seen people putting it at the top of their lists and like favorite movie of the year.
It would have been in my top 5 if I would have seen it before. But like, and that's saying something because my top 5 is like it would have edged Joker out.
Okay, that I can respect. It's no Uncut Gems.
Yeah, like Uncut Gems, Parasite, fucking Jojo Rabbit, and The Irishman.
Oh. Honestly, Uncut Gems was fucking horrifying at moments.
Why? Yeah, you can talk about that. Like, actually, you can't, but I'll allow it.
Like that movie, like the feeling that I feel of like a good scare in
Uncut Gems is more intense than the last like 20 horror movies I've seen.
And it's a specific type of like tense feeling where you're just like almost throwing up because you don't want to see what's happening on the screen, but like you have to fucking keep your eyes open.
I felt like I needed to be sedated after that movie. Like
I think that was my review.
Your review is hilarious.
I felt like I got electrocuted in the neck. That's exactly how I felt.
That is, yeah. Like and it shows that and Boozy's gonna hate this, but Adam Sandler at peak Sandler. Like
Oh my
showed
God.
that was such a flex. It was such a flex. He's like, you know what, you motherfuckers? Yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm making these shitty movies that make a lot of money, but then he's like, he makes this, and it's like he's one of the best
kills it.
He's one of the
I
best
know.
actors ever, man. In that movie, like he's unreal.
He's really like Nicolas Cage, where like every now and then he'll put out a film like that, and you have to fucking reconsider almost his
you
entire
can't-
catalog.
yeah. It's totally true.
I
The
don't
same
know.
thing happened with Punch Drunk Love, but that was even before he went way off the rails.
I don't know. I won't talk about that too much, but that movie was
Uncut
probably the
Gems.
most.
Uncut Gems coming out to Netflix on Friday.
Fuck yeah! Check
So,
that out, everyone
yeah,
out there.
everyone's gonna see it. It's
Yep.
debatably my favorite movie of the year. Like that and Parasite
Yeah.
are neck and neck.
I'm absolutely with you.
Boozy, what have you
I
seen?
like how you named like 6 movies that I've heard of all of them, but I haven't.
You got work
bothered
to do.
Watching.
You got work to do.
It's the story of all of our lives, though, right?
I don't know.
Like-
I listen. I always check out the movies you say to
I
check
know,
out.
and I have a little dirty secret, and you guys are gonna hate it. You guys are gonna hate it. I watched 20 minutes of Parasite and I didn't care, so I turned it off.
Yeah, that's not the way to go about it. But Parasite's not for everyone. But
Bro, what the fuck?
I think if you would have stuck with it,
And you
would've
watch
really
Yogi
liked
Bear?
it. Yeah.
That's the only issue here.
Whoa, that's a lapse of time. Okay, I got so much more to talk about.
Okay.
But I'm sure you have a lot too.
I got 2.
I watched Coherence.
I've seen
from
Coherence.
2013, I think. I loved how it was set up. I loved the directing. It was so well done, but the story just got so not interesting to me. Like Mitch, when was the last time you've seen it? Because you
Yeah, I'm
actually
gonna be
recommended it. I had it on a list, and you'd recommend it.
Yeah, it's
to me.
because I thought it would be one that would click with you because people love it. Honestly, man, I don't like that movie. Like just because it got so messy.
It did,
in my
but, like,
opinion, yeah.
and it kind of turned into like, well, obviously it came first, but like Us, it had like a little bit of the Us vibes.
Yeah,
where it
that was
like,
way before us. But
no,
like,
no,
yeah.
it was that same idea where it was like there's alternate people and stuff, and like it set up a really cool idea for a alien invasion movie, and then switched into a parallel universe movie, and that's not its fault, but I don't like parallel
That's where I'm at.
Any movie that hits with parallel universe, like even like
I think Us is the only one that I do like.
like
That's
Cloverfield Paradox was doomed as soon as I found out it was an alternate reality. Yeah, like shit like that I don't like.
fair enough. That's fair enough.
Coherence and Triangle are 2 very good horror movies, very good sci-fi thriller horror movies that I just don't like.
And it was beautiful. I thought it was so well done, and I was so on board with it. But yeah, it was just the story didn't do it for me, and that's not its fault. That's my fault.
Yeah.
You got.
Yeah, I'll hammer off one more. Oh, boys. Guess what I watched last night?
Uh-oh.
Tremors.
I'm scared.
3, 2, 1. Countdown, dogs. I saw Countdown.
I fucking want to watch this, actually.
good.
Countdown's the app
Do you
movie?
not remember a Countdown? We've been talking about that's what got Kyle on the show. As Kyle was saying, I really want to go see
I actually
Countdown
still.
with you guys.
It's the one with the app where it counts down to your death. Like you can see when you're gonna die.
Is that like that movie where it's the you push the box or whatever?
No,
You-
No.
It's an app.
It's literally like an app. Like, oh, LOL. Like, I download the app. When am I gonna die?
The movie starts off. The movie starts off with teenagers at a party downloading an app that tells you when you're gonna die.
I'm ready.
And like, yeah, and there's like a couple of them that's like, ooh, 82 years, and then one's like 3 days, one's like 3 hours. Okay,
Sick.
yeah, I don't know. So here's the thing. This is the kind of thing where these obviously aren't made for me. These are made for teenagers. This is in the same camp as like the Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare, The Gallows, and like even like
You liked The Gallows, didn't you?
No.
Oh wait, what's the one you
I
liked?
Unfriended.
Above, below, or
As above, so below.
yeah.
As above, so below.
I
is
like that movie.
Not even remotely a part
I
of
think that's part of that.
Oh, it's so much better than this stuff.
I don't
But
know.
Unfriended Dark Web is a very good version of those types of movies.
Right.
Like that, you know, we all thought that Unfriended was gonna suck, and
was-
it's interesting. And like, there's a couple of cool things about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
It's
not.
a fine movie.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
It's what,
solid.
it's what you'd call serviceable.
Yeah.
It did what it needed
But
to do.
Unfriended Dark Web, I think, is awesome.
I still have to watch
I
it.
think
haven't seen that
Oh,
yet.
really, man? Dark Web is really good. I thought Dark Web was fantastic. But all right, so like this is the movie where they're doing the app thing, and whenever they're actively trying. The thing is, I'm not going to spoil the movie for people.
Please don't.
No, I know, but I could spoil it for people because this is a bad movie. It's not good.
Oh.
But I had a ton of fun watching it. Like, me and Courtney had a good time, and it's like actually
Because you were cheated.
that for sure played a role.
I'm actually so excited to watch this.
Think about where you could go with this idea, and how like where these people went with it is like if characters like try to not die. Like for example, there's one scene where a girl is told she's gonna die in 12 minutes, and she's about to get in a car with her drunk boyfriend, and he's driving. So it's like a drinking and driving PSA, and it's very
living.
Man, this is a movie that I need Boozy to watch because I think you'll love it, Boozy. I just don't know if you'll love it for the reason I do, or if you'll actually love it because you're such a
weird.
But because like urban legend and shit like that, like I never know.
That's not on the same level.
Man, I never know with you though. I never know.
Get that out of your mouth.
I never know.
What are you talking about?
They whenever this character, when they're actively trying to not die, they get this hilarious notification that pops up on the screen that says user agreement has been broken. And then it ticks it down to even more.
Oh no.
So keep in mind, here's the thing is this is a movie that tells you exactly when the payoff is supposed to happen.
Can I buy it on iTunes right now?
Yeah, so you have like 5-second countdown to, oh yes, we're about to see a kill. You don't see a kill. It's like, it's one of those ones where shit happens off screen and they do like really corny camera tricks. Sometimes it's offensive. It starts out a little offensive, but by the end of it, it gets kind of fun. Like
Are we talking like escape room fun?
Escape room. This is a prime example of it. Escape room is better, but not by much. Like,
wow. Okay.
There's a girl from You in it.
Huh?
That's the girl from You.
Guinevere Beck.
You love You.
Hey, fuck you. But I'm also, I could not be more excited to watch Countdown. I wanted to watch it in the first place.
I can tell by the sound of your voice.
I'm sorry that I watched it without you guys, but I just kind of had to. But some hilariously silly shit happens. If anyone is listening who has seen this, I'm talking about a situation where someone's trying to unlock a person's phone. There's a whole like scenario where this person's trying to unlock a dead person's phone.
Sick.
And it's pretty fucking funny.
I always wonder what people do when I'm dead.
Here's the most confusing part about it though. A comedian. Are you guys up on comedians? Like, you love comedy.
I do.
Tom Segura.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Tom Segura is in Countdown.
What?
And he's so funny.
Sick.
It's like, man, there's
Good for him getting some money.
No, but here's the thing: is that the movie is so it changes tone constantly. But when Tom Segura comes in, and Tom Segura has a post-credit scene. It's like a Marvel fucking thing.
Oh my god!
But it's because like he's funny, man. I love Tom Segura, and like that scene when it was happening, I was like, why is this funny? It's a scene in a cell phone store. I was like, why is this so funny right now? Because it's so off-brand with the rest of the movie that I've seen so far. And I was like, that's Tom Segura?
Like he just wrote his own part
for
it.
Well, he killed it. But like, there's a scene with like a Holocaust denier and a flat Earth sociopath. Like, man, it makes this movie. It's
Hot
like
takes.
It has so much like garbage in it, but then it has some really funny shit sprinkled into it. So I can't fully say this was a bad movie. It was fun to watch. But it's not.
If you had a good time, then it's not complete garbage.
Yeah, it's a 2. It's a 2.
Okay. I was already sold, and now I might get the physical.
But the thing is, I'm saying like out of all those movies, like the Truth or Dare, the Gallows type shit, this is like by far this is a cream of the crop.
We went to see Truth or Dare.
I didn't go see. You went and saw that. I saw that at home.
With you.
No, I watched it at home, and that was a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only got one more, so you can hammer off some shit if you want.
You're done, Kyle?
Okay. Cats was my only pick.
Okay. Next one, I watched Ma from last year.
Okay.
Yeah, see? You were just like, who saw Ma?
It was all right, honestly.
Talk about it.
There was way more blood and guts than I thought this movie was going to show at all. They also show randomly a penis.
Oh.
Yeah,
I always appreciate it.
Shout out a good dick, you know.
But like it was like, okay, when you saw the trailer for that movie, like
shout out a good dick.
Shout out a good dick.
You heard correctly.
A good dick. When you saw the trailer for that movie, you didn't think like, I'm gonna see a penis and a lot of blood and guts. Like it looked like a very by the books movie.
Yeah, like Ma and
I think
penis.
it is a by the books movie,
but it has gore, which surprised the shit out of me. I think it's fun. It tells a small story. It's not spectacular. It'll get lost in my memory bank as soon as I smoke a joint or something. But like it was a fine movie, honestly. I wouldn't turn it off.
I think when I talked about it like 30 episodes ago, I kind of shit on it, and I shouldn't have done that because it's not a bad movie. It was it's just like
But
Countdown.
I think the reason
it's better than Countdown.
I'm assuming the reason you didn't like it is because it's particularly driven by teenagers, and like we don't relate. We don't relate anymore.
It's not for us anymore
because it like the whole premise is like, well, we need someone to buy us alcohol and we need somewhere to party, and it's like, I'm an adult. I'll just drink alone and be sad like everybody else.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm
with you. Cool. I got one last thing, and then you can close this thing out. But I have watched the first 3 episodes of The Outsider.
What is it? Everybody's talking about
so
this.
It's based on the Stephen King novel of the same name. I think it came out either last year or the year before. Courtney's reading it right now. I know a lot of people who have read it. I know Lana read it, and she really liked it. From what I've heard from everyone is that the book is great. And it's one of like Stephen King's best in recent memory. Like recent years, it's one of his best. And once I knew that it was becoming a TV show, I've always planned on watching it or reading the book. But now I am kind of just wanting to see how the show plays out. And guys, holy fuck, the show is awesome.
Really?
It is so good. And it's starring Jason Bateman, but he also directs the first 2 episodes. It opens up.
He's like turning himself into a little jack of all trades.
You are gonna love this show, Boozy. Like this series, and I hope it's just one season because it's based on a book. So I hope it's one concise season. I don't know entirely. I haven't paid attention to if they do plan on making a second. Because like You is based on a book, and they made a second season. And anyways,
you're reading You.
But yeah, so it opens up with a crime scene of a brutally murdered child, and it's like it gets dark right off the beginning. It's moody, it's atmospheric, it's intense. The performances in this show are off the charts. It's starring Jason Bateman and Ben Mendelsohn, who's one of my favorite actors. I
don't know why this name.
Hi, I'm Ben Mendelsohn.
Like he's a kid who just gets wedgied all the time.
Do you guys know Ben Mendelsohn?
Yeah, he's the
Place Beyond the Pines. He's in Dark Knight
right.
Rises, Bloodline. Like he's fucking awesome. But the performance.
I'm Ben Mendelsohn.
I think the thing is that the show it starts off. No.
Okay. Sorry.
It starts off feeling more crime mystery than anything, but it quickly transitions into like a straight up horror show by episode 3. And I think that's one of those things that some people aren't going to be all in on because it starts off really grounded, and then it's starting to introduce some things that I'm really interested in seeing where it's going. And from what I've heard, they've been almost doing like a straight like page to screen adaptation of it. Like from what I hear, they're knocking it out of the park. And man, it's just such a good show. Episode 4 aired last night. I have it recorded. I still haven't watched it yet. But
that's The Outsider?
Yeah, The Outsider. I can't recommend it enough. If you guys have HBO, check out The Outsider. If you don't have HBO, wait for it to come out and then watch it because don't let it slip by you. This is a really good show. So I'm loving it. But yeah, Boozy, you got anything else?
I just want to say that The Outsiders is also the name of the group of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall when they defected from WWF to WCW in 1996, I believe.
Which one of them was named Soda Pop?
Where does Shawn Michaels come into play?
He stayed in the WWF. He was part of the Clique, which they were also part of, but they came over to WCW and they were the Outsiders.
When did they do the Suck It?
That's DX. Shawn Michaels was in DX,
right,
but Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were the Outsiders, were in WCW, and they were not part of the DX.
Is this like peak Edge era or mid Edge era?
Well, the Edge wasn't even around. He was doing like shit in Canada.
When does Bret Michaels come into the picture?
Like the singer of Poison?
Yeah. Yes. When does he come in?
He probably comes in a lot of things.
He's looking for love.
Anyway, I got a bunch of stuff, so I'll try and rattle it off as quick as possible so we can get on to talking about other things.
Take your time.
I had an itch that I needed to scratch, so this weekend I rewatched Halloween 2018. It's probably my 4th or 5th time watching it. I love it every time I watch it more. I understand where people fell off on not enjoying it as much, but like I'm obsessed with it. Like I think it's so well done and it's really gritty, which is something that's kind of been missing from like I don't want to consider Rob Zombie's Halloween's part of that, so I'm gonna set that aside.
It's a better version of Rob Zombie's Halloween, so that's for sure.
Yeah. So watch that. Still great. I'm gonna watch it again right before Kills comes out because I'm super looking forward to that. I watched a bunch of stuff that a couple things that Mitch said I should. So I watched Cruising from 1980.
Okay, so I was wondering about this. Was that a recommendation from me?
Yes, it was.
Oh man, do you know?
I have no idea what
William
Friedkin
directed. Director of French Connection, The Exorcist, starring Al Pacino.
Yep. It's about a killer in a gay community, not like a little bit gay, like S&M.
It's S&M.
BDSM.
BDSM.
So
All right.
Al Pacino's this hotshot cop, and he needs to go undercover as a gay guy to find this serial killer.
Al Pacino's doing this.
Al Pacino's doing this.
On board.
1980.
Now think about, like, it's basically porn for a lot of it, but there's like men everywhere.
They took a lot of those people were actually people who were a part of the BDSM community.
Yeah, there
in
was
New York
there
at
was
the
a
time.
very long scene where, like, I'm pretty sure someone was actually getting fisted.
Yes, that actually happens. The fisting thing. That's I brought that up
Real
when I watched
fisting.
it. Yeah.
Real fisting. Anyway, the only way I can probably get you guys to imagine it better is like.
Well, I've seen it, so I'm
Okay,
picturing it.
The listeners,
I'm
the
going to set
listeners.
this up for the listeners and Kyle. Okay, do you remember when Homer thinks that Bart's gay, so he takes him to the steel mill to show him what strong men look like,
who could forget?
And then it all turns out that it turns into like a YMCA dance party there.
Yeah.
That's this whole movie, but there's a serial killer in it, and Al Pacino being very uncomfortable. So I was uncomfortable watching this because it's not just like I'm totally fine if dudes want to kiss in front of me, go for it. But like this, like legit, someone's legit getting fisted in a scene, and you kind of just have to go with that happening.
Yeah, I'm stoked on this.
But the thing is, that's a very important scene, and they're showing it so that he sees what he's really involved in now.
I know, but it's like I'm surprised this movie came out in the 80s.
It had a
like,
tough time, and well, that's the thing is, like, people are just finding out about it now. A
But,
movie
like-
starring Al Pacino and directed by William Friedkin that's just getting uncovered now. Like it had come out, but it was
it's
picketed.
fairly violent.
Yeah,
but
it was-
like
it was
a really
protested,
it was a
yes.
really good movie, but it's just really funny because you can definitely tell that Al Pacino's very like awkwarded out the whole time.
Pacino, honestly,
Pacino's done it, so he's been so ahead of his time. Like, look at Dog Day Afternoon. Like,
Oh, yeah.
the roles that he's been taking that involve.
he was always pretty like, I don't know. I feel like for a long time he's been open to different things.
Yeah, I love Al Pacino, but
Sorry,
like,
I'm not trying. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to paint this movie in like a negative picture, but it's like it's very like
it's gross.
it's so in your face.
But it's not gross because of the gay stuff. It's gross because it's like it's grimy and it's muddy and it's like
I'm sorry, but like
it feels sticky.
I don't care what gender you are. If I'm watching you getting fisted, I'm not
Exactly.
I'm uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
You guys just are kind of prudish, I think.
Yeah, like I was
No,
like,
I'm trying to watch fisting. Why not?
yeah, it's
Man,
like,
you would like Cruising. It's really good.
I wrote it down. I'm gonna watch it.
It's pretty good, and it also oh fuck, his like boss is also somebody who's in a ton of shit. He's this fat white guy who's in like everything, who plays a fat white boss.
I bet he was in a ton of shit. You know what I'm saying? Fist pump to that one.
Oh,
I bet.
Paul Sorvino.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So it was a fairly good movie. I don't want to watch it again,
Yeah.
and that's just because like it's very like fuck. How do I?
It's sticky.
It's
It's
grimy.
sticky.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it is.
But it's super trashy. Like
Yeah,
that's the
it's
thing is like
interesting.
it's like an Al Pacino. Like there are moments where it just feels like a slasher movie.
And that's the parts I loved about it. Yeah. And there's like a very graphic scene of this dude getting stabbed in the back.
And a very wicked like twist ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like it. It was good. If you
Okay.
want to watch it once and then never again,
Yeah,
feel free.
that's where
you
I'm
might
at
need
with
a
it, too.
shower afterwards.
You
It's
will.
crazy that William Friedkin directed it too.
I know,
But like
yeah.
it's very well done.
Yeah.
I also watched because I know how much I like a movie. I think I've talked about this before. I know how much I like a movie by if I try and watch things that are like it. So ever since I've watched Underwater, I just want to watch other things like Underwater because I loved it so much. So I watched Leviathan from '89.
Peter Weller, RoboCop.
So there was 3 big underwater movies that all came out the same year. I watched 2 out of the 3. So I watched Leviathan and I watched Deep Star 6. Which Deep Star 6 is probably the worst of them, and like the other one's The Abyss. So these all 3 movies came out. Leviathan, super cool. It takes a lot from The Thing. You can definitely tell like it was real into The Thing because like, and they have a ton of practical effects. But you have things where like basically like a creature's molding and becoming part of other people, but you can still see some of their faces.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's really cool. The effects are pretty good. There are a lot of standard like practical effects.
Also directed by Panos Cosmatos' dad.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Like so that's the director of Mandy.
Yeah.
His son the director of Leviathan went on to make Mandy and the Black Rainbow. Something to the Black Rainbow?
Yeah, I've actually never seen that one.
I haven't either actually.
I've heard really good things.
Isn't it Over the Black Rainbow?
It might be that actually.
No.
But anyway, Deep Star 6 is the one I want to talk about a little bit more because not many people have seen it.
Beyond the Black Rainbow. Sorry.
Deep Star 6, it's all right, I guess. It's very like half thought out, a lot of the movie, and things just happen really quick. The acting isn't great, but there's some cool monster shots. There's one really cool scene where like, and they kind of did the same thing in all these movies where they have like, they're in the water suits and they're getting pulled up through like a little tube thing, and the guy's just about out. He's like, oh, I made it, because something was attacking him.
Right.
And then this thing comes up and fucking grabs him, and it looks like a graboid, like grabs half of him and just rips it, which is actually the cover of the movie, like the poster.
Oh, okay.
Super cool. I had fun watching it. Obviously, I just want to watch Underwater again, really.
Right.
And you fucked up the mic, Jesus.
The mic's fine. What else did I watch?
The mic's fine.
The mic's fine. And the last thing I want to talk about, which I didn't see last year, but I just got to see now, is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay.
Super underrated. I like this movie a lot.
Thank you, man. I was so happy to see you posting about that, because everyone shits on that movie, and I had a great time with it. I put it in my top 10. I loved it.
And I think I figured out, this is why I liked it so much, but I think maybe you could relate a little bit, is this movie had so many scenes or story ideas that felt like Steven Spielberg. There was things where, like, I think one of the things that Steven Spielberg does so well is kind of glossing over certain things that happen in movies that you never feel like are really a problem. And I'm going to give you a specific example using this movie, and you guys can kind of draw your own conclusions from that. Is at a part in this movie, they try and destroy the book.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the book comes back. And they never explain how the book got back or why the book got back. That's a very Steven Spielberg-ism, where something happens and they don't give you a direct reason to, but it furthers the story, and you don't, it doesn't click enough where you're like, well, how did it get back there? This movie has a lot of like whimsical elements, and also like surprising amount of violence towards kids.
That's what I like about some. I like that, and I love the like how it feels like a Halloween movie.
Yeah, like
it just feels like the season.
It doesn't.
The
Yeah,
season
it doesn't like
oozes off the screen.
It doesn't. Like it doesn't hold anything back. There's some really like
It's
cerebral
still
killings
PG,
of
yeah. There's some pretty gnarly shit, but like so many people are shitting on it for having like horrible CGI and shit, and I'm like, honestly, man, I've seen so much worse. And I've seen so much worse, and also like I thought that some, like, for example, the Jingle Jangle Man or whatever the fuck people hated, I loved that, and everyone was falling like everyone was bitching about the CGI. I'm like, man, you guys must not see much bad CGI.
Hey, speaking of the Jingle Jangle Man, his whole story thing, did it not remind you of, I can't remember if it's one or two, but Jeepers Creepers, where he gets into the cop shop and like starts fucking shit up? Do you know?
Oh yeah, that's in the first one. He starts crawling on the walls and shit.
Yeah, that reminded me so much.
Because he's in a prison at the time.
Like those two, like it reminded me so much of each other, and
it reminded me of the Crooked Man, obviously, from The Conjuring 2. But
super underrated. Like I know a lot of our listeners had it on their list, but I feel like overall people weren't like.
People really didn't like it, man. Like I saw some like fucking hate for that movie, and I'm like,
I don't get it.
Doesn't deserve it at all. Like it is meant for a younger audience. I think that's a movie that if I would have seen it before I was 14 years old,
it would have crushed you.
Yeah, but it would also be a huge deal for me. I think it would be like a huge gateway movie for me.
Yeah.
I think I would have. Oh yeah, and I think that a lot of people are gonna. I don't know, man. I'm all for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
And it's kind of almost like a half anthology. It kind of in the way that, like, you know, like Trick or Treat was an anthology, but it was all connected and made sense.
People were bitching because they wanted it to be more of an anthology. And I'm like, I felt like it was still kind of an anthology. Like, it's all these other stories that are happening around this other overarching thing. Yeah. But people are just like, but it's not Trick or Treat. Like,
I also loved how they wrapped up the ending, where they didn't give you that typical ending that you wanted.
Oh, what? I think they did. That was one of my complaints. Is I didn't love the ending. Like because it's pretty hopeful.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's also, I don't know. Either way, I liked it. I enjoyed it. So.
I'm gonna have to watch this. I actually
watch it next Halloween.
I almost went to go see it in the theater, but I watched Good Boys instead.
Speaking of that, I did watch Good Boys.
Oh my god.
I didn't like it that much.
Oh fuck, yeah. Yeah, smoke more weed.
What about the drone, though? Come on.
I feel like they had so many ideas for better comedy, and they just kind of tiptoed on it.
Oh man, for me, they knocked out the grade 6 humor out of the park. Like for what kids are thinking at that age. That's why I liked it so much. Because I was like, yeah, it could have been raunchier.
I liked all their self-defense weapons.
Yeah, the scabs.
Yeah,
I just think it really is one of those movies where you have to be in the right mindset. I think you either hate or you love it.
I know, but I was expecting like another like
if you want
classic.
Yeah, no.
I think
don't
we probably hyped it up way more than anyone
Yeah,
should
but-
ever hype up.
But
Good Boys.
I also think that we weren't out of line in doing it because no one else was doing it.
Yeah, I'll show
no
love
one-
where I need to.
yeah,
This
no
just the
one
same
was-
way you want to give love to Scary Stories Tell in the Dark, I will give love to Good Boys.
I was hoping for super bad. Like I was walking in like,
that's
dude,
your
it's-
problem.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't ever do that.
Maybe watch Scary Stories instead.
Okay.
All right, let's
Well,
go.
Kyle, do you want to try again this week?
Okay. All right. So, hey, Boozy, hit me with the motherfucking newsy.
Wow. Wow. Good for you.
Z.
Oh, it's a wonderful day for news. I'm so excited to do news again.
I'm not.
You're not.
News.
I hate the news this week.
Why?
All the news.
First off, Eli Roth is producing his Clownpocalypse.
Well, I guess
That's
we'll
a
see.
tough
We'll
one.
Sounds
see
hot.
if he's canceled or not first.
That will include both a feature film and a video game,
What?
both of which I don't care about.
That's never a good idea.
No.
No. Next up is the one I'm assuming Mitch was alluding to. Universal and Blumhouse develop new vision of The Thing that will adapt a long-lost original novella.
They're remaking The Thing at
Right.
Blumhouse and Universal, but it's being based on the John Campbell book Frozen Hell, which is I haven't read it, but
It just got uncovered a while
Yeah.
ago.
Whatever.
It's like they found like the fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark thing, and they're like, we have to make something
man,
with this.
I'm surprised that you're leading off with this thing because there's another remake coming out, and it's just like we have
I know about that.
we have officially reached the point of no return.
I tweeted about this. We're close.
where there is no more ideas left.
I don't think honestly. I'm over criticizing that. I don't even care anymore. Like at this
That's
point,
me too.
it's
I don't.
so, like,
I don't care. But the thing is, this is the week that really broke me. Where I'm like, wow, they're remaking this. Like this is something I thought only I cared about, not The Thing. It's coming up.
okay, right.
Also, there's a bunch of stuff from Sundance, so I kind of
yeah.
just grabbed a couple things because obviously it's a lot of stuff that we haven't seen and we probably won't for a while.
Are we gonna talk about the thing at all?
Do you want to?
I just where are we at? Like I just don't care. Like
I don't want it. You know what? If they put out a book, if they put out that book with like I
Frozen.
don't know,
I would like to read Frozen Hell.
yeah, give me a fucking pop-up book or a picture book. I don't want another Thing movie.
Or a
Okay,
novel.
well, catch me up here. So that book has not been released to the public. Is that
No,
the-
it has been, but it's been like it's one of those ones where it's like almost impossible to get.
It
But
was-
now they're
it was
re-releasing
lost
it.
to time.
Oh, okay. So they're re-releasing the book, and now they're gonna make
You
a
could
film
get it
based
on-
on that book.
Yeah, but it's still.
I mean,
it's still The Thing.
Gotcha. So at the heart of the story, it's The Thing. I don't know. I guess in a way, like, how could they not do that? Like, that's kind of just like a movie exec's dream. Like, oh shit. Like, okay. Like, they probably just saw money signs. You know. Like, I don't know.
I have such a love-hate relationship with Blumhouse lately.
Feels like they had a year or two where they were really like catching an interesting stride.
They were really interesting for a long time, and like
Well, I mean, they smacked like fucking like Lakeshore, all these other companies that were before
Yeah.
were doing like the big shit. They smacked all those out of the way, and then they kind of just put out everything, like Lionsgate.
it was because of the Paranormal Activity thing. Like they hit so huge with Paranormal Activity was their first movie, like, and it was like Jason Blum was accepting calls out of his car then. Like that was his office.
Which, yeah, awesome
It's amazing.
success story.
And
I mean, yeah.
I like what they're doing, and I want like obviously like they only make horror movies pretty much, and that's what I want. But the thing is, they're
and Whiplash.
but they put out Get Out, like you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they've put out some really good stuff, and they also put out like Halloween 2018. Like they've done some really
and
good
then
things.
they put out like Black Christmas.
Yeah, and
Right,
Truth or Dare,
they're
and
definitely,
fucking
like-
The Gallows and stuff.
They're quantity over quality, unfortunately, but at the same time, like,
They're also trying to appeal to a younger audience than us.
I don't have a problem with that. And also, they're making movies for like not next to nothing, but like $5 million, like if not less, like per project, which in the grand scheme of things is not too much. I actually really appreciate that like mentality. Obviously, it doesn't always pan out, but
Honestly,
I don't know.
that's kind of like one thing I didn't really talk about in my Countdown review. I actually can't remember if Countdown is even Blumhouse or not. Like, it probably
feels
is.
like a Blumhouse movie. I
But the
don't
thing is,
know.
like, as much as I can shit on Countdown for being like ridiculous, it's an original-ish idea, and
So,
like
yeah, like they're
trying.
still giving stuff a platform to put out, but there's certain things like and we've always said like
That's a good way to put it.
don't don't do The Thing anymore. We don't, you know.
No, it's gone to the point now where it's like we're close. We're close to a Jaws remake.
Yep.
And that is just something that's just
scary.
It doesn't need to fucking happen.
It's also a weird thing now.
I'm preparing myself to not care.
Or maybe even like a year, 2 years ago, if we found out that Blumhouse was doing this, we actually would be like probably pretty excited. But now that since then, there's been like
I think if it was pre 2011 prequel, like because I was so excited for the prequel, and then it's kind of like you realize like. Maybe no one should touch The Thing anymore.
Well, maybe I'm thinking more specifically like right when like Get Out came out, when like
Okay.
Blumhouse was like, okay, like they're making really good films right now, cool. Or you know, there's other examples.
I feel like we're just looking more at the property itself.
It's just
and not
the
Blumhouse.
Right.
The Thing is such a task. Such a task to make a movie like The Thing, and it's just like one of the reasons why the movie's so special is because it is of its time and how it was able to. It's special because it pulled off all of the things that it pulled off in 1982. Like that's what makes it so incredible.
Yeah, and you have to remember is that we're looking at the lens from how many years ago when like it came out. It was panned widely.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think the fact that it's grown to have that sort of prestige to it, where like. Most people, you can look at, if you Google like best horror movies ever, The Thing's in the top 5 99% of the time.
Yeah, and let's do you get like The Exorcist is going to happen soon. They're going to remake
and I'm worried about it because like the next thing is like once Jurassic World is over, they're going to remake Jurassic Park eventually. I'm afraid. I don't want that.
Yeah, that's actually true. I don't know. What I meant to get out the Blumhouse thing was just saying that in my mind, any property can be good with the right hands. Like, I think even if you're going to remake something 10,000 times, whatever, if you have the right people behind the project, a good film can come from it.
This is the last time I'm going to bring this up, I promise. But, like, that's one of my problems with where Blumhouse has left a sour taste in my mouth is that they cast the director of Black Christmas the day that they posted the teaser art. They already had the teaser art. So it's like they don't even know. So for me, that's like, there's no way you're actually... meaning for this to be
putting a lot of
you're
thought
not putting
into it.
you're not putting the love in that you think that you're doing just by making it. Just because it's being made doesn't mean that it's being made the way that fans want it to be. But the thing, I don't know, we'll have to see. We'll see. But I couldn't believe it. Like, I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't know why.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of direction they go with, if it's going to be something so like wholeheartedly to this novel, or if it's just like an excuse to do the thing exactly.
Yeah,
I'd love it if they put the care that they put into, as much as like I do just like the Halloween 2018. If they put
like
care
the
into it,
yeah,
they put care into it, and they really worked on it. They made sure they were doing the right thing. But
like,
I don't know.
Like it can be received well for the people that it matters for, kind of thing. Like even though it might not be like an amazing film on paper, if it's justifiable to those who love that story, then it could get a pass.
It's just so hard. Is like you'd have to make pretty much a perfect movie for us to be happy that another movie is out there. It's too hard to do.
Yeah.
You'd have to hit.
Yeah, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about Sundance things. Brandon Cronenberg, son of David Cronenberg, has his film Possessor out. A couple early reviews for it it's like a fucking gory mess and it's beautiful. I'm really excited to see Possessor.
That sounds like Antiviral, which is his first movie.
Possessor is basically if you read the synopsis, it sounds like, if you guys know what MK Ultra is, it's basically the story of MK Ultra and them using people to kill other people. It's a cool idea, but it's like over the top gory, which I mean he's learned from the best.
Right.
The last strain of weed we just bought was called MK Ultra.
Whoa.
Because it's a mind control.
Yes.
Alters the mind, bro.
It's the government.
Are you ready? Oh, are you ready? Next thing, David Bruckner, who was the director of The Ritual.
Yeah.
His film playing at Sundance right now called The Night House. It's about a widow who finds out all these terrible secrets about her deceased husband. Just started playing at Sundance. Already Disney purchased it for $12 million. Like it just like right away.
The Night House.
The Night House. It sounds cool.
Disney. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh, so
they have their hands in so many pots.
Yeah.
They own other distribution companies.
They could call it under Fox if they really want
I
to.
love David Bruckner's stuff though, and he also did like one of my favorite segments in VHS.
Yes,
So,
like it sounds awesome, and I'm really excited to see that when it eventually comes out. Another thing we had here, I can't remember what his fucking name is. Who directed Underwater?
Oh wow.
Yeah, fuck. No idea.
That's
Okay.
actually so sad.
The director of Underwater has talked about the fact that, okay, remember how we did a review for it last week? I hope this doesn't bother anyone.
William Eubank.
Yeah. For anyone who
Thank you.
hasn't seen the movie yet, we'd talked about in our discussion that we got a lot of Cthulhu vibes from it.
Yeah.
They were interviewing him. He actually said at the end of the movie that giant thing is Cthulhu. He just
Really?
straight up was like, yeah, this is a Cthulhu movie, but like nobody really asked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's
That
super
doesn't-
cool.
Doesn't surprise me, but
No.
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Next thing coming up, I sent this to Mitch as soon as I saw it, and I think this is what he's all butt chapped about.
I don't.
but-
But this is just unbelievable to me. I just
Do
can't.
you want to say it?
I can't fucking believe this. They're remaking Anaconda. Like,
Really?
yeah, like they're remaking it. Okay, so
and,
like,
and the other thing is that they're not just doing like a low budget one.
They're
They're
megging
envisioning
it.
it as the Meg.
Like the Meg was loaded with money, and the thing is, the Meg was a huge success. They made tons of money off the Meg, and as much I still like the Meg. I did like the Meg. It's not amazing, but I did like it. But Anaconda is one of those things where I'm like, well, that is something I never thought I'd ever fucking hear before. Because I'm like, I thought I was the only person on earth who cared about that movie, and you too. But like,
You love it a different level than I do.
well,
so.
it's just because it's like, man, it's. I swear to God, it's in my top 20 favorite horror movies because of my like
I don't blame you.
nostalgia
That's
that I have for it,
wow.
and
It's a time
much
capsule.
it's how much fun I can have with it. But the thing is, like, the thing is, it's being written by the guy who wrote like Snow White and the Huntsman.
That
and-
I
no.
did, yeah, that was
and
very
Oh.
confusing.
is that,
to me.
but also he did the Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider, and as much as everyone can shit on Tomb Raider, I think I'm one of the only people who saw it, and it's actually pretty good. Like, it's not terrible.
That's not a good look, unfortunately. Dude, Anaconda, on the other hand, is a great movie.
Yeah, it
It's
is
so much fun.
And man, imagine like they gotta bring back J Lo.
They have
She's
to.
hotter than ever.
And John Voight.
Yeah, and John Voight's eaten.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead. Big dead. Well, not in real life.
Oh, I thought I mean, like
I
in
was
real
like,
life.
wait, he actually.
We need Ice Cube.
He's up there.
Man, we got to bring back Owen Wilson, Ice Cube, fucking
Oh.
Cranberry from Richie Rich. Like, oh my God, the whole cast of that movie is amazing. Danny Trejo.
Yep. Oh,
Like,
I
man,
forgot.
God, Anaconda is so fucking perfect.
I love that we live in a world where they're disregarding the fact that there were other Anaconda movies,
Right.
and they're
Yeah.
they're redoing it big
Yeah,
time.
that-
Whatever.
They got
It's
to, man.
A soft
they
reboot, whatever
have
you
to.
want
I
to call
but
it.
it's really funny that they're like, we're gonna give it Meg money. And it's like, do you know how many of these fucking movies they put out that are trash?
Yeah.
And the other thing is that like, if we're getting this, are we gonna get a new Urban Legend? Are we gonna get a new Lake Placid?
Guaranteed.
I'm down for what, because we already had a Deep Blue Sea sequel that came out like
That no
20
one-
years
yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
But like,
Well,
it's
what do you think?
I'm excited.
about Anaconda? Anaconda came out in
Strange.
97.
If this is what growing up is that all these weird movies that you liked, like all these niche
Man.
movies you liked as a teen and a
Right.
young adult, are getting remade.
That is where I was meaning to say that, like, officially it's over now. No one has any original ideas. They're remaking Anaconda. Like, they're remaking Anaconda. It sounds absurd to say that out loud.
I'm waiting for the Jumper
and
remake.
Candyman coming out this
Oh
year.
man, Candyman is. I'm so excited.
I'm not shitting on Candy.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that like
It's-
all these '90s things is like, hey, we're cool again.
I'm not gonna lie.
You might get a Covenant remake before you know it.
Alien Covenant or the the Covenant. Oh
The
my
Covenant.
God, Courtney tried watching
Faculty?
that the other day. Oh man, don't you fucking dare! I like Anaconda and the Faculty are things that I need left alone. But also, of course, I'm gonna be there opening night for Anaconda, and I bet you I'm gonna be. But here's the thing too: is that I'm thinking about like I actually can't remember who directed Tomb Raider, but Tomb Raider. Like the new movie, I would be cool with seeing an Anaconda in that world
Can I
because
just
Tomb
ask
Raider looks
when-
gorgeous.
When it came out?
Tomb Raider last year,
Oh.
I think so.
2018.
2018. Sorry, yeah, 2018.
Oh, like I was kind of aware that it existed, but it
Oh
flew
no,
by
it
and-
obviously a bombed.
That's everyone. Mitch is the
I-
only person who I think has seen it.
Yeah, and
He
I
might
saw.
be the only letterbox
I
review.
and
thought
I
you were-
have. I haven't. I saw it like not too long ago either. Like I watch it at home.
I thought you were talking about like the new video game Tomb Raider or something.
Oh no, those are great. But like this movie,
I think the movie's based off the new ones. I don't know.
I don't
it
know.
is. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's for what it is. It's a decent action movie. But the thing is, it looks really good.
And so that's the
It
writer
looks-
for this film, not the director? Or?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to find out here because I'm trying to.
Sometimes those guys who come out of left field and randomly write a horror movie, quote unquote, can do it sometimes, but
Anaconda still is kind of a really interesting film to remake. In a way, I could see how it's surprising, but at the same time, it like kind of checks off just the right amount of boxes to make sense for like something
Yeah.
like that. I
Well,
don't know.
if the Meg made money, fucking do it. Like, it's the same shit. Like, it's gonna be another shark movie. But like,
Honestly, if the Meg was the reason we're getting a ton of giant monster movies and maybe a quarter of them are good,
It totally
I'm
is.
happy with that.
also, the Meg isn't a bad movie. Like,
It's not a
bad
what we
movie.
wanted, though.
No, like it's not a bad movie though. It's fun. It's just I want like one of the best parts about Anaconda was seeing Owen Wilson's. You could actually pull off Anaconda without an R rating, but an R rating would help. Because even in Anaconda, like one of the most memorable scenes for me as a kid was Owen Wilson's imprint in the fucking in the stomach of the anaconda. I love that. Like, and it was just intense, and like snakes are scary to begin with.
They are scary.
You're really scared of snakes, hey?
Yeah, that's why I like Anaconda so much. It actually scared me when I was a kid. Like, I love it.
I was looking into buying a python the other week. And they're
That's
actually,
fucked, bro.
Yeah, and you have two
they're
cats.
literally illegal in only Saskatchewan. The rest of the country, you can get them anywhere.
Wow. We're
That's
anti-snakes.
Yeah.
All right, so is that it for news?
Unless you guys had anything else to add.
No, mine was rest in
I
peace.
had one more thing.
Tanner Zipchin.
Right, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
I
Zips.
also forgot to mention, this pissed me the fuck off. Mindhunter Season 3 is on the huge back burner.
Yeah.
Because David Fincher's too busy doing other things.
What is he busy doing though?
I don't know.
Like World War Z 2 is not happening now, so
But like that really chaps me because like I remember the wait between season 1 and season 2 and it sucked. And season 2 was amazing and all I want is more
I did
Mindhunter.
read what he was doing actually recently. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm gonna look it up right now because like Mindhunter season 2 is a huge highlight for me last year. World War Z 2, the Strangers on a Train remake.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but like I don't know.
He's been so silent. It's kind of weird. I mean, like not entirely. Obviously, Mindhunter is what he's been working on, but in terms of feature length films, like it's been really weird.
It's weird. Like it feels like he did all his big stuff and now he can kind of just do whatever the fuck he wants at this point.
Which is actually how I felt about World War Z 2. I was like, oh, that's like feels out of left field, but at the same time, like fuck it, I'll watch whatever he makes, I guess.
Yeah, I would love to see him tackle something like that. Like as much as I'd rather see him do something original, he would. World War Z, directed by David Fincher, would not be a World War Z. Like,
it would also not be bad. Like
No,
I can't see a
but
World War Z.
Exactly. The more I think about it, the more I wish we got that.
There's no World War Z where it wouldn't be bad.
That's
or
true.
good.
Yeah, no, I get you.
All right.
All right, let's get on to our main feature conversation, which we're going to be doing a double feature of House of Wax from 1958, 53, and
We'll just erase some of that age.
House of Wax from 2005, a movie that we've been. Yeah, I'll get onto it in the main feature. Welcome to House of Wax, people. And welcome to our main feature presentation, in which we will be talking about House of Wax from 1953 and House of Wax from 2005.
2000, next level.
But yeah, so we're gonna kick things off first off with the not the original, the second House of Wax movie, the first one that we knew about before recording this. I will just quickly say though that I watched Mystery of the Wax Museum, and I can report back that it's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a good review.
How are the wax figurines? Did they?
No, that's the thing is like the one thing where I know Kyle and I were sort of talking about this. Actually, I don't know if we were doing this in our group chat, if we were doing a separate chat, but we were talking about how
there's a separate chat away from me. Okay.
Oh well, it's just the one that says.
While I was busy overdosing on steroids.
It says it's called Terror Table minus boozy.
Mm-hmm. But the thing, I think it was in the main group because we were talking about how we want to do more older classic films,
right.
And like one of the things is, it's just really interesting to see how creative types were able to form stories and make things suspenseful or thrilling in any way or innovate in any way when there was nothing else to be ripped off at the time.
Right.
Like when you think back at I think Mystery of the Wax Museum was from 1933.
That's insane, honestly.
And
That's
and honestly, man, for a film in 1933, it holds up so well. It's really good. I think that is for sure a better double feature than House of Wax 2005.
Sure.
But it's because we'll get there because the thing is that House of Wax 2005 is a movie that everybody hates.
Yeah.
Everyone hates it. So I'm excited to talk about
what are the similarities though, without dwelling on it too much. But like, how does that
It's the same
original one kind of translate to?
It's the same kind of deal with there's this guy Ivan Igor. He owns a wax museum that some people are suspicious of it being filled with real people. So it's pretty much the same type of thing.
That's interesting. That's actually still a pretty like creepy concept.
Me and
in the
Kyle
30s.
had talked about that while you were pooping. Is that like we think
It was a good poop.
it smelled like it? So it's good. Is that
black
like
and yellow? Black and yellow.
Oh my god.
the idea of like the House of Wax idea is such a cool idea. Like it never would
really
get
cool
old
idea.
for me.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting idea.
It is, and I think the 33 version, it has like, it's one of those movies where like it's going to be impossible to watch it and not think about how backwards the time was that it came out in. Like I think I caught some pretty extreme racism in Mystery of the
Was there
Wax
any
Museum.
blackface in there?
No,
No?
nothing like that.
No,
But it was like just
good, I guess.
words that people use and how they spoke about people of
Right,
color. Like
right.
they didn't even use the N-word or anything like that. But it's just like it was like, yeah, I don't know about that. But the thing
Right.
is, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like pay I wasn't like watching intently at Mystery of the Wax Museum.
Was that the oldest movie you've ever seen?
No.
No. What's
No.
the oldest movie you've ever seen?
Nosferatu, maybe. No. I've seen.
Did Metropolis come out?
Yeah, I've seen shit from like the like when they first like there was a while there where I was going through like a film snob douche phase where I was watching movies that came.
I think the oldest
silent
thing I've
films and
watched
shit.
is Trip to the Moon because I think
Yeah.
that's like 1903 or
So
something.
that's like one of
Okay, so
One of the first
it-
film.
yeah,
It would be something like that. But either way, Mystery of Max Music. That's not what we're here to talk about. But I am here to say that it's. If you're a House of Wax purist, or if you enjoyed both of these movies, or if you enjoyed House of Wax 1958, it's definitely worth taking a look at. But that's about all I'm going to say because we have so much other stuff to talk about
with
today.
that film included with even the 1953 film. It's crazy to see like how early horror was being born.
Exactly, and that's one of my favorite parts about when we get into the 1953 version of House of Wax is how straight up actually horror it is.
Totally, yeah.
This is a real horror movie, and but yeah, so this one came out House of Wax came out in 1953. This was one of the first movies that was released as like a 3D movie. They had the whole 3D gimmick behind it. I don't know how, like I've never seen this movie in 3D. I know there is types of Blu-rays that you could buy for people who have 3D TVs and everything like that.
Lame.
I know.
Honestly, lame.
Yeah, there's some people are into that shit, but
Those people?
Yeah, I'm not one of them.
Lame.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
This one's directed by Andre Dutoth and is starring Vincent Price. So Vincent Price, obviously, any horror fan knows is like the seminal character actor of the 50s and the 60s, even like
Charles Bronson was a huge deal too.
Yeah, but that was like farther after this.
Yeah.
But Vincent Price, as far as horror goes, he was always known as the eccentric horror guy.
Or the voice from the Thriller music video.
Yes. But yeah, so this is the synopsis is an associate burns down a wax museum with the owner inside, but he survives only to become vengeful and murderous. So that's all I'm going to say right off the bat. I'm going to let you guys take it for a little bit. What did you guys think about your venture down into 1953 in House of Wax 3D?
Well, first off, I thought it was quite charming in a lot of ways. Also, just incredibly stylish. Like the production design and costume design, all the art department stuff in this film is top notch. It holds up.
I think it did such a good job of making everything feel important. Like when you were going through the museum, it wasn't just like we're in a museum and I'm Vincent Price. You felt the weight of it being this cool wax museum.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And the film takes not a lot of time, but it spends some time just kind of discussing like, oh, these wax figures are like works of art, and there's like laborious time and effort that went into this.
And you feel that.
You feel that way in the actual set of the film, which for right off the bat, like first, I don't know, 30 seconds into the movie, you feel that way because it kind of flings you right in. I mean, the pacing of the movie is kind of its time. Like there's an intermission, you know, there's things that are obviously like from the 50s, and so in a way it's a really fun watch because obviously we just don't see things
It's
like that
very
now.
different, yeah.
And obviously, in the case of today's show, it's a really interesting compare and contrast with, the film from 2005.
It's fucking unreal. Like it's unreal how they managed to make a remake of this. Like we'll get there when we do. But anyone who has seen House of Wax,
it was just like we read the script, I guess.
And as much as it maybe feel outdated in a way, I'm gonna say original, but when I say original, I'm gonna mean 53. As much as it might feel outdated in some ways or like too much of its time, it's also so ahead of its time in tons of ways.
Oh yeah, like
it probably outdoes the outdatedness, however you want to put it.
I think it's pretty unreal how it actually pulls off being genuinely creepy, and that's one of the one of the best things I can say about it is that for me there was moments that I actually thought that were really creepy, and I couldn't imagine being in 1953 at the time having no reference point as to what horror could become or what horror is capable of doing, and how they were able to pull it off so well in this movie. Don't get me wrong, like this isn't. To me, I wouldn't put this next to Frankenstein or like even like the classic.
No,
even like it doesn't from some of the classic Hammer horror movies I've seen side by side. I wouldn't say that this is one of the better ones, but I would say that I wasn't bored in this movie at all.
Well, what's interesting to me is I feel like. Again, like I'm not like an expert of this era in horror, and like
That's why we're doing this.
Daniel
we're
Epler.
Exploring
I'm
this.
That's our boy
not,
Daniel Epler from Cobwebs podcast. He loves this shit.
But the way I couldn't help but feel about this film after seeing the 2005 one is that they feel like movies that are kind of taking from their time to some success and to some detriment.
I totally agree with you.
Like, I mean, say what you like. I don't like whatever. I know we're focusing on the first one, but whatever you want to say about the 2005 one, it's taking from everything that existed the first 3 years before that.
Yeah.
And I feel like this film is just another example of that. It's a bit more accessible in ways. There's not so much violence, but it still does a great job.
It's more implication is a lot of it.
Yeah, but it still creates tension and emotion and horror in a lot of ways, and that's why it's successful. Again, like I'm just trying to make the connection of like I feel like since like you're talking how maybe it doesn't like it is a classic in its own right, but it doesn't stand up to some of like other films you just mentioned. I think the reason for that might just be because it is kind of a conglomerate of these other ideas. I don't know. That's kind of the feeling I
think
got.
it's the story itself that it's trying to tell is built in it's a kind of a smaller scale, honestly, if you think about it. It's kind of like
there's like two sets.
It's a roadside attraction basically, and it's the characters dealing with that sort of thing. This movie had one of the coolest scenes I have seen in an older film, and I guess I just had to put it like that because I can't say like it was the most insane scene I've ever seen, obviously, because we've gone so far. But like the scene where they crack the Vincent Price's face.
Oh yeah,
coolest scene in that movie.
Yeah.
That was amazing, and I
There's
was
so much
surprised,
cool-
and it's like, man, how the fuck did they do that? And it's 53, and I was like, that was flawless.
Also, like a genuine reveal too, like an interesting reveal.
There's things, and that's what there's things like. I'd really like to do more Vincent Price films on the podcast because like that man just had so much goddamn charisma that like he was like. I can't say because I'm not extremely well versed. I've watched a lot of the movies from the 50s and 60s and even 40s and stuff like that, but like I would never consider myself to be any kind of expert on this.
A historian.
But the thing is, like Vincent Price has so much goddamn charisma, and he just carries this movie the whole way through.
Oh, totally.
And he's so he stands out above everyone else in the movie, and that's the problem. Is that that's one of the problems is that he's such a better actor than everyone else.
I think it's weird seeing him as kind of a villain. He's kind of like how would you explain? Because he's not a true villain. He's like a smoldered villain. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're.
He's been scorned.
Yeah.
But like he has
the hero scorn.
Yeah, but he has so much charisma all the time, and he has that air of like you want to trust him, but there's something a little bit off with it.
That's a good point. I think I don't know. I think maybe what we're trying to get at is like Vincent Price is probably the only actor in this movie. Everyone else is just beautiful people.
Yeah,
like
screaming a lot of the
which also is a theme in horror movies to come. Really,
totally.
I mean, like.
Yeah, but like I don't know the way that I'm looking at it, we don't have a Vincent Price of our generation. Like the closest, like I had this conversation with slightly. I didn't get to talk about it fully with him, but Lee Beckman was one of the people who just like adored Color Out of Space, and he mentioned Nicolas Cage. And as much as like honestly, that's probably the closest I'd come to compare him. But the thing is, I'm not gonna say Nicolas Cage is a better actor than Vincent Price, but even
But are you talking just like character actors that like have lasted
the
test of time?
I feel like Bruce Campbell has a little bit of that.
Yeah,
he's on a little bit more of a schlocky level.
I think it's the thing is that
Vincent Price has
the
that
industry
in
changed.
hindsight.
The industry changed so
Yeah.
much with this. Like Vincent Price was able to become who he was because he was really the only person doing what he was doing at the time.
Right.
Yeah, he was like a flagpole of what was going on.
And like you always knew, like I don't know, like I really like House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price and everything. I just like his acting in general and like what he brings to the screen. But like one of the things about this movie that's so twisted is just like because you start the movie off wondering if he's actually sick. And he's actually like a demented person, and you kind of watch him spiral into madness. As imagine Homeboy just lighting all of your hard work right on fire right in front of you.
That's like if Kyle came in here and he's like, we can make a ton of money if we burn down the podcast room. And you're like, no, we still want to do a pod, and he just goes for it.
You're like, nope, my idea is great.
I just think the whole idea behind this movie is so like beautifully sinister and twisted.
It's true.
And one of the best parts about it too is that this is a slasher movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's like, people always like
it follows all those same beats.
Yeah, like technically it isn't a slasher movie, but it does have, like you said, it follows
It's
those
got
beats.
it's got that blueprint of what you see in most prototypical slasher movies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, this is something I kind of wrote down. I was just thinking that the film itself isn't full of like kills or gore, obviously, but the setting and the tone highlight and like push forward the truly creepy and violent aspects that the film has. And I think those things are like the thread points that lead into slasher films or lead into the next 50 years of horror, basically, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, there's a couple nods. I couldn't help but see some Halloween in this because like there was the moment in
sure, actually,
the moment in the morgue. Like when they're in the morgue and the corpses pop up and they say it's because of the embalming fluid.
Yeah.
But then Vincent Price like pops up and he's sitting up and I'm just like that's Michael.
Yeah.
And
that was a great scene.
It's one of those things that you got to wonder like how many of the people that we've grown up like loving their films and like the way that they make movies, they totally had to have been inspired by something like this. Like it's cool to see where this stuff has come from because this has got to be one of the first times you see that. And as small as it may seem, back in the day, the way I always critique movies or judge them is you have to put yourself as to where the audience would have been when they saw the screen for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to fairly look at a movie like this. Like, it's like, of course this isn't going to be as successful in scaring us as fucking The Last Exorcism. Right. That's a bad example.
Or even if this film came out today, that argument. Obviously this is not going to
it's
blow
not going to
anyone's...
scare you.
It would be more of a drama, honestly, if it came out now.
But the thing is, it's a running through line that we can talk about from this conversation leading on to the 2005 House of Wax is that the set makes the world of difference.
Absolutely.
In this movie. And it's like, it's such a creepy idea and it's such a scary idea to be covered in wax alive.
And it works with the pacing of the film too, because for the most part the film is like, it's not necessarily slow, but it kind of takes its time. But then the last 20 minutes basically like shit just hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're kind of building up these like creepy elements. Like you see this big pool of like pink goo, which I think Suicide Squad ripped off.
Yeah.
And like, or maybe the Power Rangers movie, I don't know. And then there's like these little things where like, okay, clearly this like, no one was really not expecting for like Vincent Price to be the villain. Like that was pretty damn obvious.
Yeah.
But they're like, leaving these little breadcrumbs to that when like shit hits the fan. Like it is fairly terrifying. It is like straight up.
But
horror.
I guess like what Mitch was saying is you have to take it like at the time when it came out. Is like
Right.
the Second World War is in the rear view. You're going to get a shake
Right.
with your best gal, and you don't expect Vincent Price to.
You're looking for a good spook.
Yeah, but you don't expect that as a viewing audience.
That's right.
Have you seen like the fucking like Maltese Falcon, like shit like that, where it's.
I mean that in the sense that like the breadcrumbs are what make it work still though, right? Where it's like, okay, like you make a very good point. At the time, maybe that would have been unexpected, but even watching it now,
we're watching it now and going like, obviously, but yeah, I'm sure at the time people were like, holy, how did that happen?
And there's just also other things happening that keep it visually interesting, like, and what we've already said before, just the premise alone is like pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
It is. I think the script is really beautiful too at times. Like there's times where I really like. I wrote down one of the parts where someone's like one of the character says, "You turned your back on beauty," and Vincent Price responds with, "I can no longer create it." And that's just such a classic horror. It's just such a classic horror.
That's that's some like Frankenstein's monster. Which is I feel a lot of this movie
Totally.
has that Frankenstein's
It's
monster
totally
vibe.
inspired by Frankenstein in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
he even
And
has like
totally.
his like henchmen and shit.
Igor.
Yeah,
is
Igor.
his henchen's name. Yes.
So it's
A little
like
on the nose.
a little bit on the nose.
I wonder if it's inspired by Frankenstein. Yeah.
No, that's absolutely true. It also has one of the most insane coughs at the end of the film. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When like the police officers, like one of the cops, he makes the strangest, loudest like cough sneeze, and it's so off-putting. And it's like the last like 5 seconds of the movie. It was really weird.
Well, we've solved the case.
I was like, what the hell? And like the other cop kind of looks at him weird, but it like as if it was kind of a joke. I don't know. Anyway,
One of my the thing is though with these types of movies, one of my favorite tropes from these classic horror movies is is characters sneaking around right in front of people and they don't know.
yeah, I love that.
Oh,
It's
you mean like the Scooby-Doo thing?
Yeah, it's,
That's
it's
exactly
very
what
much
it is.
like it.
It's
Yeah.
actually totally Scooby-Doo.
You
But
can
it's,
tell that
it's kind
Hanna-Barbera
of
took
sick,
that from
though.
it. Yeah, it is. And it's, I don't know, it's just, man, a lot of these movies hold up. Most of them don't.
That initial, like, I don't know what you would call it, that like chase scene, I guess, where like Vincent Price is like wearing, I guess he's not wearing a mask. I kind of thought he was, but he's like donning his like fucked up face and he's like chasing after, I forget her name right now, unfortunately, the lead. That's like a genuinely like tense moment. Like
It is, yeah, but I love how he runs. Like he does that.
Exactly.
It's honestly that's what Robert Englund does in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Is he's
Very
running
over
over
the top.
yeah, it's kind of like
And
it's
he's kinda
hokey in a
crouching.
way,
It is,
but
yeah. He's crouching.
and campy,
Kind of
but-
dancing.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know. Like
and the film exists in the National Film Registry, meaning
saw
that like
it's protected.
it's protected and it's considered like high art, basically, which is
it
interesting.
is real. That's the thing is, you know what I say that this isn't like one of the better ones, but it's actually pretty fucking good. Like this is one
Totally.
where if you're into this kind of stuff, like this is one that's definitely worth checking out.
Like I don't watch a lot of old films at all, to be honest,
Yeah.
and I'm always a little bit, I don't know, not wary, but like part of me is kind of like, oh, this might be fucking boring. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But this absolutely not, and I think it actually probably a decent film to start with in a way if you're looking for something that's older that you might get something out of.
Yeah, something that's definitely not boring.
No,
Like it's
no.
just to show
It's
you
only
that
an hour
you
and a
can-
half.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's some of my favorite things too. I know you're a big component. You're a big fan of like very long movies, but I love that these older classic movies are like 120
They're tight.
minutes.
Well,
get in, get out.
My rule of thumb is make it 90 or make it like 280.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
There's no in between.
Yeah.
but the thing is, I can totally understand why some like this is a good transition. We'll transition. Are you guys ready to transition into
Yeah,
2005?
I just want to say that like I would watch this movie again. I'm not just saying like I'm not just tooting its horn as like oh it's classic and I love it. It's like I would watch this again. Honestly, it was fun.
It's also one that would be really cool to revisit around Halloween.
Totally.
Like if you're into that, like because
I would love to watch it with other people as well because I watched everything that we've watched by myself. So
Yeah,
it'd be-
and that sometimes you're definitely hurting your experience because like these movies are meant
That's
to
true.
be seen with people. But House of Wax is definitely one that would be worth watching with people because it could be fun. But the thing is, like this is one of those things where I can kind of understand. There's a lot of people who saw the 2005 remake, which we're about to talk about, who hated it so much that would never go back and watch this. So the 2005
That's fair.
remake, it has similarities, which I am very
does.
happy to report back that it has some very solid similarities.
I couldn't agree more.
But they're completely different movies. Boys, do you want to get on to House of Wax 2005?
it's time.
All right, so in
watch Paris die.
yes. I'm
Okay,
not
so-
making the joke.
So yeah,
We've done it.
I'm not making the joke.
Mitch, you've championed this movie for such a long time. Whether you begrudgingly admit it or not, you've always championed this movie.
I fucking love this movie. I love it. I think it is an awesome slasher movie. I think it is one of the most underrated of this generation of movies. I think people wrote it off so quick because of what it is. It's starring Chad Michael Murray.
Jared Padalecki.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
Paris Hilton as well is a huge
Okay,
factor.
that's I was leading up to that. That's the thing. It's like
sorry.
we got to talk about this for a second here. So let's rewind back to the time of sideways mesh trucker hats. So that's the time we're going back to. We're going back to when nu metal was in the forefront. This movie opens up with Deftones.
Sick.
It transitions into Disturbed, and then it transitions into Interpol.
Yeah.
So this is like
It's
the
perfect.
most insane fucking soundtrack. But it's starring the supernatural fuckboy Jared Padalecki, who's in all of these fucking movies. Like, he was in the Friday the 13th remake.
Oh, yeah.
Not to tip my hat too much, but who just kept giving him roles?
Man, chicks love him, and people.
I
man,
had a lot to say about him for
what,
this.
no, let's
Chicks
talk.
dig 'em,
Let's
bruh.
talk about, because I'm gonna be with.
Bruh.
I'm gonna tell you
Bruh.
right now. I fucking hate Jared Padalecki. I think he sucks. I think he sucks, and I think Chad Michael Murray sucks.
Chad Michael Murray definitely
they
sucks.
both suck. But
For
the
the
thing
record.
is, man, Supernatural is so big. I never got into Supernatural.
Me
but-
neither.
But
Me neither.
Supernatural, Courtney loves it, and there's so many people. There's conventions just on Supernatural.
I can't
They're
understand.
in like their 15th season.
I can get the appeal. Like, I understand the appeal.
I wish I liked it, but I don't. But yeah, so it's starring supernatural fuckboy Jared Padalecki. We got Paris Hilton, fresh off her sex tape.
I was
we
going to
got-
ask, what is the relative timeline to the sex?
This was after the sex
it's
tape. I had
post-
already.
What
Yeah,
is, okay, but is like this? Was it The Simple Life? Wasn't that the show?
Her-
This
That was a
yeah.
reality
Oh yeah,
show.
that was before this.
The
Yeah.
sex
that
tape's
was
called
before.
Sex tape is One Night in Paris.
Yeah, One Night in
No, no,
Paris.
no.
The bonus
but when
features
was
are
the
better
si-
than
when
the
Or
was
actual.
is it A Night in Paris?
When
One
was
Night
The
in
Simple
Paris.
Life?
Right, One
Trust
Night.
me, I
When
know.
was The Simple Life?
Simple Life? Oh, I think 2003. So
Yeah,
I think
it was definitely.
Okay, so she
was
she
blowing
was
up.
in, yeah,
huge.
like everyone was aware. Like,
Oh, this is
I've
peak
seen,
Paris.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this was peak Paris.
For the record.
Yeah, but then we got Samuel Jackson's son from Coach Carter. I can't even
That
remember
was
his name.
him?
The guy who was banging Paris Hilton.
Oh, my.
No, that's not actually Samuel Jackson's son. It's his son in Coach Carter.
Because I was like, his dad should be so embarrassed for
Yeah,
him.
no, okay, so
that
that-
dude was
Then we got Chad Michael Murray, the Chad Michael Murray. He's the
ultimate Chad.
And then we got Alicia fucking Popular Mechanics for Kids turned woman of every 13-year-old man's dreams, Cuthbert. Yeah, we got.
Good for her. Good for her.
Man, I love Alicia Cuthbert. She's great.
I'm always rooting
As
for
much
her.
as I do love her, I have to admit, I 1000% forgot she was in this movie. I don't know.
Until
how.
you saw it?
No, like, I can't have seen this
While
movie.
While you were watching it, you're like, who is that?
No, like, she's in, like, the first 5 minutes of the movie. I was like, fuck, I forgot she was in this. I saw this movie, like, I don't know, maybe when it came out. Like,
Yeah.
I barely remember it. Just mostly remember Paris Hilton, to be completely honest.
For our like international listeners, I just got to let everyone know that
Yes.
Alicia Cuthbert and Jay Baruchel were
Canadian
They,
treasures.
they
Icons.
were the kid. They were Kid Bill Nye the Science Guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Bill Nye also Canadian? I don't know.
That's more of an American thing.
yeah. I feel like
Are they aware of what
everyone
we're
knows who Bill Nye is,
Right,
but like the
right.
thing is, it was a kids
Can
TV show
Neil
that was on.
deGrasse Tyson. Oh, that's
Oh
maybe-
man, yeah.
It's a reach. Yeah.
I remember the first time, like PMK, Popular Mechanics for Kids, was my favorite thing in the world as a kid.
If
Like,
anyone who's not Canadian doesn't know what we're talking about, just Google like
PMK.
popular. Yeah,
Popular
it was
Mechanics
It was
for Kids.
children's
huge.
children's science programming, and the two main leads, or the two people who hosted, Jay Baruchel and Alicia Cuthbert,
yeah.
they're been in a lot of things since. That's where they got started.
But it's like for a show like that, you never expect anybody to go anywhere. So for both of
Totally.
them to become the stars that they,
Dude, I just watched
became-
$1 Million Baby yesterday. Courtney never seen it. It's great.
That's a great movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But Jay Baruchel's in it. But no, but yeah, and then they're like, so I'm not giving off any names because they don't fucking matter.
They really don't.
But the dude with the cum from Scary Movie, you think he's in this?
He's in this.
Oh, is he the bro?
He's the
Yeah.
cam guy, right?
Yeah, he's the cam guy. The sideways side trucker hat.
He's random sexually frustrated guy.
Totally.
Who
It's
is
kinda
in a
sick,
ton
though.
of that character is in a ton of different movies.
I wrote down that he was doing Ashton Kutcher from Punk'd cosplay in this movie.
Totally, that is, yeah. But man, I don't know. Like this is just a sleazy as hell.
And it's
Sleazy
extremely
as hell teen horror movie
of its time. Like,
Yeah.
literally a slice right from 2005.
But
like,
dude, it's so fucking gross. Like I couldn't believe that this had a and I can't believe I didn't lead off with this. This was I've talked about on the podcast before. We talk about like our most memorable movie experiences, and honestly, mine. It remains to be Signs. M. Night Shyamalan Signs. When I was a kid, it fucking worked for me. I was terrified. It just worked. Second is House of Wax. Me and my friends snuck into House of Wax at Rainbow Cinemas at Center Mall at a midnight movie.
Ooh.
And this was when teenagers were still they were getting drunk and going to movies. So I wasn't full. I think I was 14. I was just entering high school. We snuck into this packed theater. And man, I'm telling you, the moment that Paris Hilton got that pipe through her face, the entire theater stood up and applauded and cheered. Wow. It was like the beginning of Scream 2. Like where Jada Pinkett is sitting there and she's like, yeah, it's actually just like
had
that.
to have been there for that,
dude.
one.
It was unreal.
That's also kind of sad in a way.
No, but people just hated her, but it was unreal.
I need to. I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this, but in my mind, this movie. Well, I guess Mitch, you probably will. In my mind, this movie was far worse in my memory than it actually is.
Oh
100%.
Man! Oh,
I thought it was like.
Okay, I'll let you guys take it. You guys carry on.
I thought that maybe I would get some sort of like so bad it's good enjoyment out of this, but honestly, there's a lot of things that work in this movie, and it's a pretty enjoyable time.
Boozy looks so upset to admit.
And and to go along with this, and I might get some heat for saying this, but I thought Paris Hilton would be a million times worse, but she's relatively passable. Like
she does what she needs.
She
to
does
do.
what she's not like. I've seen far worse acting. I'll leave it at that. Like she's not a good performance. I'm not going to say she's good actor.
She was way better in this than she was in her sex tape.
And the hottie and the naughty, but we won't talk about that.
The who?
Yeah. That's
okay, I had never seen this movie front to back before. It's one of those like
never?
I've never seen the full thing.
I knew it.
Seen parts of it.
Yeah.
Never seen the full thing, and I had like more enjoyment than I should have. And like I honestly I went in watching. I was like, okay, I guess we'll see what's gonna happen. And then right away they open with Deftones. They're playing Minerva. So I was like, oh, okay,
fuck.
I like that.
You started to shake a bit.
Yeah, and then they played Disturbed After, which kind of sucked. Whatever.
Yeah.
But this movie like is so violent, and all the like cool shit that happens trumps any of the bad acting. Because honestly, out of all these actors, Jared Padalecki stands out like a sore thumb. I'm sorry, he is god awful as an actor.
He's bad.
He's pretty bad from the get go.
And also, Paris Hilton's boyfriend was.
He's bad.
Oh, he was like I thought Paris Hilton was bad. She makes like
he was just more of like a trope in my mind. Like,
yeah,
he was. But like
he was just there.
You can't even say he had nothing to work with because he just like. He stunk up every single line he made Paris Hilton look like a good actress.
The scene where he's ignoring her to rap along to the song is so funny. It's the funniest fucking thing I've seen in a while.
Also, man, like here's the thing: back in the '80s and like the '90s, like we talk about all these movies that we love. Like here, let me air my grievances. I've been wanting to do this since we started this podcast about House of Wax.
Do it.
But like the thing is, like we look at these Friday the 13th movies and we look back on them and we
joy,
love them. We
yeah.
love them.
Right.
And we're like, but the thing is, man, people they weren't accepting of trash at this time, even though this movie was doing the exact same thing, but debatably better in some ways than some of these classic movies that we
couldn't
love.
agree more.
And that's the thing is like this movie was never meant to be taken so incredibly seriously. It was an MTV. This is one of the better MTV movies because it's a glorified music video, and it really is. But sprinkle on top of that, you have some of the most creative and gnarly kills.
Totally.
Like, and the killer behind this movie is fucking rank. The slasher is rank, and above all else, the best part about this movie is how it looks. The building and
absolutely. The production design is amazing.
Of course, it's stupid. It's crazy. The house is literally made of wax.
But
how there's electricity going in the building? Why are there light sockets?
Don't even.
But this is a Spielberg moment.
Yeah,
this is where you don't ask and you don't care.
You shouldn't care.
It's a teenage slasher movie,
and it's like.
And it's a great one.
To give it credit, if you're going to make a House of Wax remake or whatever you want to call it, which in a way kind of
reimagining whatever.
Man,
it's kind of not necessarily the best idea in the world, but the one thing you have to get right is the House of Wax, and to this film's credit, they get it right. So as far as I'm concerned, everything else is just fluff, and it works.
I was so into all the set pieces. Yeah, when they go into like the church and there's the funeral, I was like,
man,
yep,
I
give me
love
all that.
And the whole end. Well, we'll get to the ending, but the ending's fucking amazing. But like, I love that. Spoiler alert, everyone. Like, we're not going to really talk about spoilers when it comes to this. This is so old already at this point. But spoiler alert: when Jared Padalecki's the first to go. And I love that.
Sorry,
I love
baby.
that. I love that.
When he got, when they had him in that chair thing and that scene started, I was like,
The
100% I'm into it.
The best Saw has to offer. It's like that is a
Yes.
Saw scene,
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
it's
what I
better
thought.
than it because like it's not just constant.
That's the only
It's-
part where his acting was serviceable because he's
Oh
going.
my- he's
actually
he's-
terrified.
He's shaking. Yeah, dude, it's fucking gnarly.
That was that's what I was trying to get at a little bit earlier when I was talking about that. This film obviously is grabbing from films from its time, and like in a way, because when did Saw come out? Like the first Saw,
2004.
right? So this is like hot off the heels of that.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have even really been ripping it off. It was
No.
like, and also it's gore isn't something to rip off. Like that shit.
No,
has
I'm
happened
more
for
so mean
years.
like the
Yeah.
contraptions and
Yeah.
like some like not necessarily
But the thing is,
torture porny
it's
things,
more-
but there's a little bit of that.
Dude, that whole segment is more the 1953 version than anything.
That's right. Yeah, like
that
actual
scene
like,
actually happens
like
in
a
1953.
torture device, basically.
Yeah. Well, also it's like she's just laying down and he's spraying her with it in the 1953 version. This
right.
is just him sitting in a chair, and like of
It's
course
a similar thing.
This is just it's a way. Okay,
Oh,
so
don't they cut his Achilles too? That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude, yeah.
That's
But
hard
th-
to watch.
this is one where this is going to bother you when I compare it because the thing is it can be comparable to Black Xmas, but this is a much better version of it.
I'll agree with that.
Obviously, it's a much better version. It's a much better version, but it's got the same level of sleaze and grossness.
I just think it's better, more well done.
It is. It definitely
Even-
is.
This takes out of, if you want to go that route, I'm taking out of the whole like it's part of the Black Christmas whatever. I'm taking that completely out. If you're looking at those two movies side by side, House of Wax is a way better movie than Black Xmas.
Hands down, no question. You will not hear me debate that.
I
love
have a bunch
this
of
movie.
notes, so I just kind of like sprinkle in my comments as we go.
First of all, I just want to say too, I don't know that there could be a chance that there is a podcast out there that has done this, but I honestly think that this might be me being ignorant. This might be the very first podcast defending the living fuck out of this movie, and I'm so happy that you guys
Oh,
are on
totally
board.
on
House
that.
of Wax, worth a watch.
Dude, it's awesome. It's so good.
I had Jared Padalecki spent most of this movie pretending to be cool or moaning like a walrus.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed there was so many times, when he would just
Yeah,
randomly
you're
be
right.
like,
Dude, he's not even. I
right,
love,
you're so right.
but I love that because he can't move because his lips are fucking sewn shut.
Right.
Yeah, but the rest of the time,
Other
he's-
times.
the rest of the time, he's
Dude.
like blowing his hair off.
Are you kidding me?
The tortured cool
every
guy.
single. I'm sorry to cut
Yeah,
off your
he's
note.
the tortured
I'm
cool-
sorry to cut you off here, but we also got to point out that Chad Michael Murray, so the Chad and PMK are
Yeah.
twin brother and sister.
Oh.
So there's actual added sexual tension in this movie too that makes it so weird. You guys knew that, right? Like they're brother and sister, they're
Yeah,
twins.
It's strange as hell though. When he
But they have sexual tension
when he like
throughout
pulls
the
off
movie.
his shirt and
Yeah.
it stays just a little too long on his naked
Dude,
body.
when he throws the beer bottle, even like when he's like sitting there and he throws the beer bottle, I'm like, oh, Chad, he's such a cool Chad.
Showing off to
And
his
This is sick,
He's
Chad.
not even being cool for any. He's just being a dick.
He's just showing off to his hot
and
sister.
if he was ugly, everyone would be like, "Oh, fuck that guy." But it's like, "Oh, he's brooding because he's so handsome."
True, man. Chad is
this
such
would
a
actually probably fly in 2020.
Chad,
People really
Chad,
like that now.
Chad is such a fucking Chad in this movie. He's got the wife beaters. He's
Chad
got,
is such a
he has
Chad.
the 3-inch tribal tattoo on his arm featuring
Yeah.
a silver cross necklace combo.
Oh.
Like he's just missing the chain
almost-
wallet. He might have had the chain wallet. I don't even know.
I think in a way how this film works in a lot of aspects is it almost feels like a parody of itself sometimes.
Yeah,
just because
it's
it's,
a
so
slasher movie.
because it's so specific to like whatever, like you're talking about tribal tattoos and things from that time, but it just kind of owns it. It's not trying to be anything it's not.
Dude, that's the thing is though we got to a point in like life where people stopped accepting that these movies are a thing and that you can just have fun with them. Like people, I don't understand how
Right.
people could have gone into a Friday the 13th Part 7, like one of my favorite Friday the 13th movies,
Right.
and take it seriously. With going into House of Wax, it's no different. The only difference is that these, like, it's starring Paris Hilton, who is a huge star
Okay,
at the
yeah.
time.
I guess
Chad
because
Michael Murray.
the last one was taken more seriously. That's
Well-
kind of like if we were at that. If
But,
this was
dude-
coming out now, where we're like, the Thing is one of our favorite, blah blah blah,
Right,
and then it's
okay.
like you can't do that.
I bet you 3% of the entire audience who went out to see this movie were fans of House of Wax
That's a good
from
point.
1953
That's a
or
fair point.
1958. Like this movie didn't have, like,
I don't know.
From what I know, it
My-
didn't have the backup that it did.
My inkling for why this backlash or why there was a backlash at all is just because like the
Paris
film.
Hilton.
First off, yeah, okay, Paris Hilton.
It's MTV as fuck, but
And-
it's one of the best MTV movies.
But also the era of like horror films that was happening right before it was like The Grudge, The
Yeah.
Ring,
People
very
are taking it
dramatic,
seriously.
very serious, and like those films have their fan base and they're great in their own right. Like when those are, that's kind of what's at the forefront of the genre, and then you have House of Wax come out. It's like
Which it totally does feel like an 80s, like it just got transplanted.
But it's like, you know, if maybe you're just getting into horror, that's like what you enjoy. You're not gonna like this.
How cool is it though that did you notice that the redneck from this, like the one that he throws that's a different guy that he throws the bottle at, but it's the guy who picks them up and takes them to the town. That's Charles Manson from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Is it really?
And from Mindhunter. That's the guy who plays Charles
holy
Manson in Mindhunter.
shit.
I didn't know that. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't
he
catch
played
that.
a country bumpkin really well.
Yeah,
Good
he
bump.
did, yeah, he
Good
was a
bumpkin.
I have a actual conspiracy theory about one of the characters in this movie, if you guys will hear me
Oh,
out. Okay, so
listening.
Paris Hilton's boyfriend in this movie is named Blake. I just
Okay.
remember that because I wrote it down. And I wrote, okay, I think Blake is actually OCD in this movie, but he's just not diagnosed or something.
Oh.
Because he was obsessed with those football tickets. And then the reason he died is because he's obsessed with that music playing. I think he's just OCD.
And he had to keep rapping. He couldn't talk to her.
He was, everything was like, he's like, I have to. He's like, I can't fuck you until this music comes back on.
I'm following. I think I'm with you
But
on
do
this.
you remember how like everything else was happening and everyone was kind of worried and like Jared Padalecki was missing and he's like, I got to get to that football game. Got to get those tickets to that football game.
No, I think that's a fair character trait to point out.
I'm worried about his mental health.
I hope he's okay. I want to just point out, this is backtracking a little bit, but I just want to talk about the director of this film. I'm going to pronounce his name incredibly wrong. Juam Colette Sarah. I don't know.
No, that sounds right.
Sounds
Sure.
like a fruit snack.
Let's fucking take that Capri Sun for a ride here. He's done other horror movies since, but
What has
also
he done?
He did Orphan, and
Orphan's great.
he did another one that I am blanking on right now. But he also is about to direct the upcoming Riot, which I wrote down. This is my personal opinion. Jungle Cruise with Dwayne the Rock
Oh
Johnson.
no!
He's getting that Dwayne money.
Oh,
man.
man.
But to also sort of, I guess, start a tradition of horror directors making DC movies, he's doing Black Adam.
No.
Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, after Shazam, Black Adam is coming out, and so obviously Shazam, directed by a man whose name I'm forgetting, but he made
Good for
Lights
this
Out.
dude. Yeah. Oh, he also did Oh wait, dude, this is wow! I can't believe I didn't look up this. This is the
So?
director of The Shallows.
So
Really?
Yeah, it's the same director as
I'm surprised you didn't. You look up everything.
Yeah, no, but it's because I've never looked too far into House.
was I right with the
Wax.
Orphan? I thought that's
Yeah, or Orphan. Okay,
Or
I
Orphan,
want to
sorry.
look this. Man, this shows how bad of a podcast we are.
I just thought it was
He
interesting.
did
Like,
the Commuter with Liam
Yeah,
Neeson,
I
which
know.
was bad.
So
The Shallows, Run
he's-
All Night, which is good. Nonstop, which is hilarious.
with also Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I love. Oh, and Unknown with Liam Neeson. He's primarily doing Liam Neeson movies.
Him and Liam get along.
I guess
The
so.
only music video he directed that he's like credited for. Okay, so he has one credit before House of Wax, and it's Enrique Iglesias Esperanza.
Wow.
Whoa.
He killed it.
I
He
feel
did
like this
great.
guy just takes work wherever he can get and just destroy it. Like,
He
does
just
so
fucking
well. Whatever.
smashes it. Yeah.
But he's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like commercial. Like he knows the commercial like look, and he
Yeah.
just
yeah,
he
totally.
gets to make it work.
Man, it's MTV as fuck.
That's
like,
fine.
That's things I can understand so much. I can understand all of the criticism for this movie. I just think every single bit of it is stupid.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
it's
it's cheeseball,
fucking-
start to finish.
This is not meant to be taken seriously.
No.
That's why like I don't care what people think about House of Wax. Like I think it's
Yeah.
like it's unbelievable to me.
It's
I know-
bulletproof to
That's
you.
also are you laughing because it's like why would people
Yeah,
listen
exactly,
to us?
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
but the thing is, you know,
No, but
we're
I'm
the only
with
ones
you,
who
I'm
are
with you.
defending it, and it's fucking awesome.
Like there's nothing because like whatever even if you want to like the shittiest movie we've seen in a while altogether was Black Christmas 2019.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
So think of that
Light
like
years ahead.
how that is like clearly something like there's reasons to argue for that movie to be a shitty movie. With this one, it's like there's really not like if you're just not in on the ride, you're not gonna like it. Otherwise, fucking jump on because it's a good time.
That's exactly how I feel about this, and I think you'll be able to come along with me here. Is that I feel like this is like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, but if that movie knew that it was fucking dumb. Like the thing is,
okay.
I think Texas Chainsaw 2003 is a better movie.
I think that movie's amazing.
It's so good. I love that. I love that remake. I love it. But the thing is, I think this is if if that movie was able to make jokes and be silly
Right,
and over the
right.
top.
Sure,
But the thing
yeah.
is, Texas Chainsaw, that Marcus Nispel one, was treated so seriously. Sorry, Boozy.
Okay, so I just want to keep going with my notes here because it does go somewhere. So
Sorry, we're cutting you off
no,
so
no,
hard.
you're not cutting me off. I'm adding my interjections. So I'm just going as I wrote this because the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm taking notes. Chad Michael Murray's god-awful actor. Just awful. Man, is he bad. These are different lines. So this is me throughout the movie consistently writing down.
I'm going to be real with you, but that's how my notes look too, is this movie's gnarly. Holy fuck, this movie's rank.
LOL Minerva.
And Chad.
No, and then
Chad.
towards the end of the movie, do you know the theater scene was like my favorite scene in that movie?
Yeah,
When
it's
the
great.
movie's okay.
Yeah.
So, but right before there, Alicia Cuthbert explains basically the whole plot of what's going on. She figures out the whole thing that's going on and explains it to Chad Michael Murray, and his response is, "Yeah." Like no, and
Yeah.
word for it was so fucking.
That's his sister.
I know, but she explained all this shit, how all these people were dead, how the whole like all you know like the wax, all these people were like real people, and there's two
Right,
killers and all
right.
He
this
didn't
shit.
know they were filming.
And she gives this huge exposition, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Nah." Like that's all he had to fucking do was say like
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're totally right," or like, "We should get out of here." Just-
Flex here, bro.
yeah,
Flex.
just yeah.
I kept thinking of like how her like finger was cut off and like she was walking around with that.
Oh
Like,
man,
I
and how
couldn't help
she's
but
just
think
totally
about
okay
that.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's
That
so
whole
much
scene, that
stupid
tension
shit.
in that scene was so well done.
Yeah.
That finger scene, amazing.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that
and like
scene.
once again, we're talking about the set pieces, like
Yeah.
like that whole like the diner and the gas station.
That, like the area underneath the
Oh,
gas
I
station.
love it.
Like,
And I love how okay. One thing I didn't talk about is that when I first saw this movie, the person I snuck, it was me and my friend Jesse. Not no Jesse that anyone knows here.
Not
But-
Jambi?
No, not Jambi. But we snuck into this movie, and then he was coming over to have a sleepover at my place afterwards,
Sick.
and we were
That
playing.
was the best
I was
times.
playing Gun. Remember Gun?
yeah, I remember
on
Gun.
Xbox,
Yeah.
the Western game, and I had a Slipknot poster in my bedroom. I still love Slipknot, but I had a Slipknot.
Even at a
poster.
young age, you knew this guy.
we're
fucked.
really getting
Yeah,
we're getting
dude,
taken back right
no,
now.
but seriously, I had a Slipknot poster, and honestly, it's for the first time. Think about all those guys. Like, as a horror fan, I loved their masks and shit like that. But the killer in this movie looks like Joey Jordison, like the original drummer of Slipknot. Like, do you remember what he looks like, or do you know anything about that?
I can't remember his face right now.
Okay, because his
He
mask,
looks,
his
he looks
mask
like
was very
he's
similar.
16 all the time.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
he's got the long hair, and then he's got like the
mute mask. or
yeah,
whatever,
kind of. But the thing is, either way, this movie scared me,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
It
yeah,
scared me.
I
when
get
came-
it, though. I
And
get
I
why.
also, dude, I watched this movie the same year that I watched fucking Hostel, and Hostel did nothing for me, and House of Wax scared me. That's saying something.
That's
Like-
true. Yeah, that's fair.
Like, but the thing is, I don't know.
I
man.
just keep coming back to that Jared Padalecki scene where they just cover him in wax, and then later, isn't it like the
I love when they cut
douchey
his
dude-
face off.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Well,
No,
oh,
doesn't
fuck.
he take a piece of his face, and he's like, "Oh, sorry."
Oh yeah, but she
oh,
cut,
when the other guy pokes him.
yeah.
when like you can see his eyes moving
Yeah.
around, and like it's like, okay, so that is the dumbest thing ever. Of course he wouldn't still be alive.
No, absolutely.
But,
But it
we're
was
watching
so-
a fucking MTV movie.
But
you
it makes it
idiot.
so
Yeah.
cool when
It's
you're, 'cause
so
you're-
cool to see.
Yeah, and you don't
Oh,
think
totally.
about the logic of whether he should be alive, or you're just like, "Oh, that's gross."
Just throw that out the window. Like, you can't be like nitpicking those aspects for a film like this. It just doesn't make any sense. If that's how you want to like enjoy this film, like
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah,
looking
you're
for a
going
different
to lose.
experience.
You're gonna
literally,
lose.
At the end of this movie, they have to dig out of a house of wax that's on fire, and then jump.
Oh my god.
And then My Chemical Romance Helena kicks
Okay,
in.
before we get there, I want to kind of talk about like
I
Paris
love-
Hilton in this film.
Yeah, let's go.
We need to speak about this because
Let's go.
it's definitely like
Let's go.
okay. So I remember very vividly the marketing for this movie, legitimately having trailers saying "Watch Paris Die" and billboards.
I
Saying,
don't remember that.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Like that was the push, was to like literally just see Paris Hilton die on screen, and I remember like watching it initially and like it's a pretty gruesome death of hers in the
It's
film.
rank. Yeah, it's sick.
And watching it now, like I was anticipating that, but just everything else where she's like in this film, like her scenes, she's just like the Valley Girl. Like she's really not harmful or offensive or like.
She does the same thing Chad Michael Murray does, but
Absolutely.
it makes she's in the background
Oh,
and
man.
she randomly goes like,
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like she is no better than porn star acting here, and that's what she was brought here to be, and that's what Chad Michael Murray does as well, and that's what Jared Padalecki does.
When she drops her lip balm.
Oh my god, man! Dude, can we talk about when she's doing her awkward ass dance
it's so
to like
funny.
2000s R&B, where it's like, I like the way you work it.
Sick.
No diggity.
No
It's not
about to bag it up.
It wasn't no diggity, but like
No
it was-
diggity-esque.
It may as well have been, but like
it was like Usher ripoff music.
Yeah,
the
dude.
one creepy thing, the one thing that felt uncomfortable, honestly, was there's when like the one guy's videotaping her, it felt a little too on the nose. Like, okay, this is the handheld sex tape that she was just in. Like,
dude,
it's
that's totally what they were doing.
I
though.
know.
They
It
were
felt a
making a
little-
reference. Like she made her sex tape leak.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Like she was the reason why that leaked, and it's like because it's skyrocketed her fucking.
Okay, so we
celebrity.
talked about this movie being bulletproof. I have one thing that I want to point out that
We talk about this movie being bulletproof. Is that what you
yeah,
just said?
like if you go like you can't take this seriously.
It's
so
true,
it's,
Sure, okay, I
so
get you.
the one point of this movie that annoyed me, and I hate when movies do this because tons of movies do it, but it's if you do it wrong and everyone notices. There was a lot of times where they were in quote unquote traffic, and you could clearly tell it was just a green screen, and they were like,
Oh man, yeah,
kind-
it was like that '70s show where they're like,
Yeah,
the things when they're
exactly.
driving, they're moving their hands like this.
Yeah.
The whole
yeah,
time.
and that's the only time where it bought like
Are you
see
talking
that
about
in-
when she was giving him road dome?
That was part of it because they were stuck in traffic, and then when they go get tickets, it's like
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the stock like meep meep sound
Well,
effects,
and
like,
it feels out of place, right? Because actually, the rest of the movie looks pretty sick. Like, it looks great.
yeah, that's it
And then there's
sticks
scenes
out.
like that,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't be
that's
the only
fair.
one who noted. I was like, oh, clearly they're just on a lot. Like,
True.
Okay, the last Paris Hilton thing I have to mention is I wrote this down. Paris Hilton flipping through a case of burnt CDs is the most 2005 thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god,
When
yeah.
she's like flipping through the big black case of burnt CDs wearing a complete blue jumpsuit or tracksuit. I'm like, this is so sick.
It's like,
got
oh
some
man,
baby fat shoes on.
yeah,
Absolutely.
baby fat. Holy shit.
Fat farm.
Fat farm.
Fat
Oh
farm.
my
Baby fat
God.
for the women, of course.
Man, that is unbelievable.
PH.
I forgot about all of that stuff. I completely blocked out.
It was perfect in that, just the best way.
But
like-
that binder, it's like, yeah, baby, I got a pretty sick Kazaa list. This is a LimeWire 2.0.
yeah, we don't use Morpheus anymore.
Yeah, Morpheus. I forgot about Morpheus. Holy shit, that's hilarious. One of my only gripes with the movie is that I kind of like. I love the look. I love the look of the killer in this movie. I do. I think it's sick. But one of the things I love about the 1958 version is I love the Jack the Ripper look. I'm a big sucker for shit
Right.
like that.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
the hat and the cape, like not the cape, but the trench coat and shit. And like,
Where you can clearly tell that the killer's the
but
killer.
the thing is, that would have stood out like a sore thumb in this
Oh,
movie. It would
for
not
sure.
have. It wouldn't have fit.
I don't know.
But
I
the
think
thing
the
is-
direction they went works, honestly. I don't
it
know.
does. It does work, but the thing is, I could also I could see House of Wax being revisited again and being treated a different way, and I'd be okay with
Sure.
it.
if
Because
they took it, if
dude,
the next
this-
one's a serious one, I'd still
Well,
love. I'd love
oh,
it.
man.
We were
I-
talking
I
about this
don't-
during the break, like this film, and I could see House of Wax almost going like a Suspiria remake route. Like,
man,
I can see a
you know,
serious
there's
movie
so
coming
much.
out of this.
That's it's so I can understand why. Say that 3% that I think doesn't exist. The people who are going into this
2.5.
wishing that they were like, oh, I love the 1958 version, and
there's
they were
no
going
way.
this. No one was doing that.
you would have had to been 70.
Yeah, but like, and, not only that, but I'm
Yeah,
just
you have,
like,
like, no access to it.
I have a tough time believing that there was that fan base for that
I
movie.
agree, I agree.
As much as I really enjoyed the original. I will say I choose the remake over every House of Wax.
Yeah,
like
dude.
as much as I like the original, but the thing is, like, man, I love how crazy this movie is, and
Yeah,
it's like it's
it's-
one of the movies that brought Courtney and I together too. Is that Courtney was one of the only she was actually the only person I knew who watched House of Wax and loved it. And like I remember, like when we first started seeing each other, it was one of the things that we did was we put on House of Wax. We got so excited about it because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
but
like,
it's so much fun to
When
watch.
Alicia Cuthbert is like laying on like the front seat of the car, and she's somehow like changing reverse and forward,
Yeah, I was
perfectly
wondering-
driving around. It's like, okay, this is not Fast and the Furious, and she's not an expert, but like you just roll with it
Dude,
because
How,
I don't know.
how awkward was so please tell me you guys understood the whole movie that they were brother and sister, because that was
They even say it a couple times.
it makes the movie so much
I know,
more
but they do.
uncomfortable.
But then they do things that brother and sister don't do,
Exactly,
which
so you-
makes it weirder.
so you forget if you're really high.
and
Yeah.
they
you kind
I'm
of go
with you.
in and out of it.
yeah.
and the way they're
It's
like,
oh,
at
right.
the end together, it's like the classic like boyfriend girlfriend dynamic.
Yeah.
So it
We
feels
made
creepy as
it.
hell. I guess one kind of on the nose callback to the 53 version is calling one of the killers Vincent, like the name.
Oh yeah,
Vincent.
I love Vincent Price.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean,
even though it's kind of corny,
it's a little.
It feels
corny.
a little corny. I remember even when I didn't know that reference, that's what they're saying. I was like, Vincent. Vincent's such a bad name for that, but then I'm like, okay, Vincent Price, whatever. Fuck it.
Near the end of the film too, when like this house of wax is like burning to shit, and like you were talking about, Boozy, when they're like have to climb through the walls of wax. It's so sick, and as everything's like melting, and it's
especially since you know that they just want to survive so they can fuck one last time, but their brother
before
and
their
sister.
parents find out. It's like it's. I don't know. It's like this crazy kind of fucked up scene where it's like kind of shitty CGI, but it works for what it is. It kind of reminded me of the ending of The House That Jack Built when they're in like hell.
Yes.
When it was just like complete batshit insanity. It actually kind of reminded me of that.
True,
when they're jumping at like the clock tower
yeah,
part. But like the rest of it, when they're going through the house, like it looks really good, and you could like the wax feels like they're actually.
It looks like real wax.
It looks really good. There's one like at the very end when they're kind of like jumping out of the building. And
no,
the
that's
whole building's crashing.
That's the only one that looks really. But when they're inside and they're like, we have to dig through the wall,
and like
I believe that,
the floor is crumbling. It looks great.
Man, I just the kills, like we already talked about, but everything that happens to that clown from Supernatural, the Achilles, when they wax his eyebrows and his stupid ass goatee off, like I love that.
Yeah.
It kind
of they wax Bukaki him, and then his friend peels off his face before getting sliced into a quarter. The cum guy's death scared the fuck out of me. Like I remember with that, like where he gets brought to the bottom of the stairs and then he puts his like scissors. He does like a cropsy thing, like from the burning, like a classic burning kill. But I fucking love that. But like like I said, one of the most memorable scenes was Paris Hilton dying, but breaking the dude's head off when he's in the wax machine.
Yeah,
that was fucking gnarly.
That really got me, actually.
Yeah, I love how there's literally candles everywhere. There's legit an entire house where everything is made of wax, but it's all candles.
I didn't even think of that. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
But I love the faces melted into the walls. Vincent going after Alicia while Chad is stabbed in the leg and melting into the floor, yelling how he swears to God if you hurt her, Vincent. I love that where he's like, I swear to God if you hurt her. It's like, what are you gonna do, Chad?
Is that one where they're in the bedroom and then she runs away and then she comes back to save him when she realizes she left him?
It's like it feels like choreography. You know they've chased around in a bedroom before.
That's the thing. I can see all of the flaws in this movie, but to me they're all positives. They're like Alicia Cuthbert's scream, like as far as scream, man, I can't even, I'm not going to do it into the mic, but do you remember what her scream sounds like? She goes she actually, I had to step back, but that's what she does.
Sounds like one of those screaming goats.
Yeah, she does. Like it's not like Jamie Lee Curtis where it's like actual death curdling. It's like this is a really big inconvenience for me.
And this ruined my day.
They may have done 2 takes, like maybe. No, I don't know. But I guess in another connection, sort of like from the first film, how I said like the last like 20 minutes shit just gets crazy. And this one, absolutely balls to the wall insanity the last 20 minutes. Man, it's nuts. I loved every second of it.
Watching people's bodies melt into the floor and
totally.
Shit.
And like Mitch, you were listing off all the cool kills in this film, and like those are obviously interesting throughout the film. But then it just like goes fucking like batshit insane, and I loved that. And having like the actual set crumble in on like the setting, it like. I don't know. Again, like you can definitely hate this film, and I can see why people would.
Yeah,
absolutely. But honestly, if you're just looking for the same way you enjoy like a fucking Fast and the Furious movie, or even maybe a Marvel movie, I don't know,
junk food in general. This movie's junk food.
That's how you should enjoy this film.
Dubs up.
Got him.
There's a high five.
Big old high five.
But this is actually, it's emo.
It's entertainment.
It's also that's the thing. Kyle's looking at me now. It came out in the era of us getting into like Boys Night Out and like Census Fail and all this shit. My Chemical Romance. The fact that the movie fucking like it kick the credits kick. And it hits on the same note as the opening of My Chemical Romance, Helena, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love this movie!"
And all the credits are melting.
Oh man, yeah, and it's kind of like even I remember in Saw 2. Saw 2 ended with sound effects and over dramatics by The Used.
Sick.
I was like, "Yes, they are speaking to me." And I'm now 30 years old, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I still love
See,
it.
and I should have watched this movie way sooner because I knew what
There's so many, man, this was one of those ones where I was like, Boozy's gonna love this.
It's just
like,
super funny though. Is that like it ends with like MCR, but it starts with Deftones, so it's like it's got a little bit for both of us right there.
yeah.
Like,
Little
Well,
sandwich
and
in
I love
between.
Deftones.
I know. I'm not saying you don't.
But no, it's just it's so of its time, and I think that people are like, I think people were way too harsh on this movie for what it
agree.
was at the time. I think looking back on it, and honestly, I hope I'm right, but I hope a lot of people who are listening to this go back and rewatch House of Wax, and they realize that it's fucking
Or
stupid,
they
but
hear
it's
how much
so
fun,
much fun.
we had talking about
Yeah,
it, and are
dude,
like, man,
it's
I
so
want
much
to have
fun.
fun watching it.
Okay, Kyle, you watched it twice.
Yeah. Oh, right. So I watched both these movies twice because I just felt like I needed to watch them again to like. First time I watched it, I really didn't think I missed a lot of things. I was being a little 420 friendly, and
We are the tear table.
yeah. So
We're the 420 table.
Yeah.
anyways, I just felt like I probably didn't need to, honestly, but part of me was like, fuck, maybe
But it's fun.
I should watch it again. And
And also you wanted to.
like the second
You wanted to.
the second
You wanted to. Yes.
Are you ready?
You didn't need to. You wanted to.
I don't know. The second time around, it holds up.
I
It's
don't
just
think
it's
you
just
trust.
it's just fun. I don't know.
in
I think you made my whole
self-righteous.
Hey, he's talking.
I think my whole point comes down. What I was gonna say was what you said earlier, where like if you can appreciate like a fun campy slasher from like the late '80s, you should be able to appreciate
Exactly.
this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You
That's
gotta-
really all I can say.
Take your underwear out of your butt crack and just understand that this is a movie that came out a little bit later than your time, and it's fucking hilarious.
What did you give this on Letterboxd?
Okay, well
What
here's
did what did Mitch get? I want to know. Mitch.
I give it 3.5. I'm gonna bump it right now.
I literally I just went on there. I didn't check your guys' rating, but I gave it a 3.5, and I'm feeling like it honestly could probably be a 4 for me.
okay. Well here's
I really liked
Oh,
it.
Kyle, you asshole!
Hear me out. Hear me
Kyle,
out.
I just looked
Hear
it up.
me
Fuck
out,
you.
though.
You're a piece of shit. Don't you dare. No, you loved it. Don't
We
you
just
dare.
had a good time. And
I
you
just-
I had a great time with it. This is
Pause.
why ratings fucking suck.
This is why a 5-star rating sucks. But I just looked. I just opened Letterboxd and Boozy gave it 3.5. Kyle gave it 2.5.
with a heart though, which to me is all
Oh.
close to a 3. That's how I
That's
use
your-
the heart
that's your
system.
little asterisk.
Yes. Okay, I don't
No,
know. I don't want
I
to
can't
get
go
into
more than
this.
3.5. It's a 3.5, but it's a solid 3.5.
But that's the
it's
thing.
a 3.5 with a big heart.
I don't have fun with movies that often like that.
But
Yeah.
if I'm rating things and like as much as I rate other films, like I can't
No, dude, you can't-
wholeheartedly
you
give
can't-
something
I-
like this
I-
higher than 2.5 in my opinion.
Fair.
I'm with you.
But-
I understand it, but also I think that you're sick and you
it's
should be ashamed of
it's,
yourself.
it's kind of fucked. I mean, the thing is ignore that because for the past 20 minutes I went about how this movie's worth watching. But fuck me, whatever.
No, yeah,
caught
fuck
him.
you
We
is
caught
right.
this
Yeah,
guy.
Fuck him.
All right, you guys got anything? Are you guys got anything left to say?
No, man, I'm good. I just hope that this made people, I hope this made people want to go back and watch House of Wax from 2005 because it's a ton of fun. But also, if you haven't seen House of Wax from 1958, it is also fun. But here's the thing, man. I know that House of Wax 1958 is a million times better than the
Right.
remake. I'm going to
It's
watch.
just not as fun.
It's
man,
definitely not as fun. And I think
it just speaks to my generation. It speaks to I have the nostalgia factor. Like think about how I have that fucking
totally.
nostalgia going to the theater. And I remember when Paris Hilton died, and I remember looking over both of my shoulders, being like, "Holy shit!" The entire theater is standing up right now. Everybody was on their feet, clapping and cheering.
that's insane.
And I've been making that joke for 145
Sure have.
episodes.
Are you gonna
This
do
is
it?
this is only one of 2 movies where you can see Paris Hilton get a pipe in the face.
Yep.
And I also think after we've talked about this in great length, even talking about things like Anaconda earlier, I think this actually could be a movie that's due for a remake.
I'm into it.
I think
I
it-
love it.
Why not? It's been
this is
a
a
while.
movie. I don't give a fuck. Like honestly, I shouldn't care about Anaconda either.
But you know
It's
what I'm
just-
saying? Like
yeah, I'm the 1%.
ripe.
It's a movie that, like, I guess in this case, not a lot of people enjoy, but it's under the radar enough
But
that
the
I think why not?
The problem is, I don't think people will accept slasher movies anymore. That's why even like as much as like I'm a little hard on Halloween 2018. I know I've already talked about this so many times, but it's like because it's good, But people hold slasher movies to a different standard nowadays because we're not conditioned to them anymore.
Right.
And it's the way that I don't know if it'll work. It's the same with honestly, man, I really like the Friday the 13th remake with Jared Padalecki. I think Jared Padalecki is one of the worst parts of the movie. But honestly, you know how I've talked about frequently.
You're gonna say he's one of the worst human beings alive.
No, but
We'll cancel him next week.
Yo, he's gone. Rest in peace. But no, I've been one of the people who defends the Friday the 13th remake, and I think House of Wax is better than that Friday the 13th remake. Like, so, I don't know. Let's close it out. We'll come back next week where we'll be talking about The Fly, both the 50s version and the 1986 version. And then we'll be back the next week for Invasion of the Body Snatchers. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh,
I was just doing a thumbs up.
Do you guys want to get the fuck out of here?
I think so. But
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing these other classic films now, especially after
too.
this. And even talking about it right now, like,
I
I'm
hope,
ready.
I hope there's one where the originals are better. Because obviously the original House of Wax is better than the version that we just blew. But actually, no, it's not. It's just, okay.
It is what it is.
Right.
Stick around after the little ditty outro. You can have the question of the week. Please don't send it to our Instagram. If we can try and keep it to like either our email or we'll post something on Facebook. It's just easier for us because if we miss your thing, it's because we're morons.
right.
So just
True.
make it easier
Yeah.
for us. And
I mean, also, if you have any people you think should get canceled, you can send them to me personally.
Yes.
true.
Yeah, or send it to the Terror Table or Kyle at Kaiser on, or what are you on Instagram?
K-Dog?
Instagram.
Kyle Zer, Kylez.
Kyle Zer. Send Kyle Zer on Instagram. Give him a follow and send him a message. Say, hey, this person should be canceled, and he'll tell you. He'll give you the Joaquin Phoenix heads up or heads down in Gladiator style, if they're gonna die or not. All right, we'll see you guys next week on the Terror Table.
Take care.
Alright guys, if you stuck around to the end and you're hearing my beautiful voice, that means you've made it to question of the week time. So, the question for this week is, what remake would you like to see remade? Example, a new House of Wax remake. So, send in your questions. Put some thought into this. Give us some answers that you wouldn't expect. I would love to hear some of that. And you wouldn't believe some of the movies that are remakes that you didn't realize are. So, do a little bit of research, and we will catch you next time.